Watch, that's like the first thing that is the first thing I say. All right, here we go. God damn it.
I waited until you were done.
What's up, chat? What's up, y'all?
Oh,
Feels bad still. Yesterday was rough beans. Bro, what is rough beans? Oh, Omni, you're wonderful, man. By the way, Omni, Tarkov is back.
oh yeah.
Tarkov is back, bro. It's funny. I took a long break. Like, do you know how long it has been, Tony? Because I feel like we were all kind of like playing at the same time, and then we stopped and like
I
got
was
into
looking at our
Battlefield or something
channel,
like that.
and it was like early 2024 the last time we talked in there. But I think we went through one more round between
Yeah.
them now. So like, I don't know. It's probably like late 2024 maybe, or like early 2025.
Oh shit, dude. Omni doesn't know. Yeah, man. Version 1.0 went live last weekend.
They changed so much. It's crazy.
It's funny because I remembered how good that game is, but also how fucking janky and shitty that game is at the same time. Like, and I don't mean the game is fun. I just mean they do really weird stuff. You're gonna want to reset your character because there's a whole like tutorial and introduction and like quests and like there's cutscenes for the vendors and shit like that. There's a bunch
Vendors
of
are 3D. They're not just pictures anymore.
well, sorta.
Yeah, I mean, they're a 3D model. They're not well integrated into the game in any way. But
Adder, I'm surprised you haven't played, dude. I really think like, because I know you like machines that throw projectiles with an explosion. I know that you like that. Dude, they're all real. Like everything in it is real stuff. So like I can go get shit that I actually own in the game and like walk around and like LARP as I guess it's not LARPing, it's RP as an operator and shit like that. It's really fun.
And like if it has a Picatinny rail on it, you can attach something to it. And if that thing has a Picatinny rail on it, you could just attach something to that too, and so on and so forth. Like, it's awesome.
Oh, Adder's already spoken for. He's like, oh, I have friends that harass me about it.
Oh, okay. Yep. I mean, it took me like 2 or 3 years to get Vince to actually try it. So,
I love it. It's definitely a fantastic game. It's really, 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 really good. There's very few games that do it like that.
No,
absolutely not, Adder. It is very expensive to play.
If anything, it's a little pay to win in some ways.
I wouldn't even say it's pay to win.
You can buy stash space and stuff. That's
yeah, but that's more like, yo, thank you, LFQ.
Oh.
I think their model skirts the line of exploitative because like stash space has value to us as players. I would say when they crossed the line was when they released the Unheard of edition and sunset the Edge of Darkness. Yeah. When they did that whole debacle, like, oh my god, they had to backpedal on that and fix it. But they were definitely cash grabbing for a while. People got very mad. But yeah, it's definitely been in development for like 10 years, and it's come a very, very, very long way. But Adder, I would recommend if you legitimately, if you want to get into it, don't really fuck around with PvP. Go straight to PvE. And then if you want to get into PvP, it's already there and you can just go into that. But you have to buy PvE separately, which is weird. It's like $40 for PvE. Or you can buy like $140 version of the game that gives you all kinds of stuff.
I want to say it's like base game is $40, and with PvE, it wasn't that bad. It was like maybe $20. But yeah.
Yeah, Simple Sins, you can't get Edge of Darkness anymore. It was like a limited time early adopter package, which is, I got it because I played for a little bit. I probably played for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks on the $40 version and just upgraded to the very expensive version. I have no regrets because it gives you, all of the expansions, whatever, you get everything for all of time, which was a really cool value, I think. Very expensive, but I got my money's worth. I paid less than I've paid for Destiny. AAA says Tarkov, all about Arc Raiders now. Nah, that ain't it. It's a good game, but Tony and I have talked about this extensively off stream. They almost got it right, but then they simplified some of the things that make it really fun. And what I mean by this is, as gamers, you gotta eat your vegetables. You can't have really good times without frustration or bad times. So what I mean is, in Tarkov, they use a grid-based loot system. So items don't just have weight; they have like a physical size that you have to contend with too, and you have to play a little bit of Tetris to like put shit in your backpack. For whatever reason, every other extraction shooter that has come out to try to take a piece of Tarkov's dominance in the genre has simplified loot, and it removes a ton of tension from that moment when you're like, you just killed a guy and you want to go check his backpack and all this shit, and you're like, oh my god, he's got these really cool things, but these are too big for me to fit in my backpack. How do I determine what to get? And then you hear someone walking up on you and like they're gonna shoot you, so you have this moment where you're like trying to figure out, what do I move around? How do I get this shit in my bag? And like you just completely lose all of that tension when it's every item only occupies a single space. You basically just vacuum all the loot up from every single container, every kill, whatever. You vacuum the loot up and continue shooting, and you just miss out on something. So I think Tarkov, all the quirks and complexities that it has are the reason why it's such a good game. And I mean, in terms of gameplay and fun and vibes and like the feeling, nothing hits like Tarkov. Duckov was a little close, but then Duckov got me really frustrated because they've got really poor. It's the first two maps are done really well. The progression feels really smooth, and then you hit a wall in Farmtown in like the third map, and the mechanics are a little frustrating. So I'm sort of bouncing off of Duckov, but I don't like that. I'm bouncing off it because Tarkov is there, and I'd rather just play Tarkov. Arc Raiders is a fine game. Absolutely understand the appeal. But there's like a bunch of little things that make me not want to play Arc Raiders. The biggest thing I think is the third-person camera in an extraction shooter with PvP. The ability to peek around a corner in third person should never be in a PvP game like that. That's fucking crazy, because there's always an advantage to ambushing. So I don't know. It really pisses me off. So I don't like that. I don't like the simplified loot. And what I mean is, each item occupies a single space, and that's kind of the calculation you make for loot. I really don't like the I'm trying to think of how to describe it. Like post-apocalyptic entropy, strap a fucking, you cut a football in half and strap it to your head, now you have a helmet. I hate that shit. I really fucking hate that shit. So, yeah.
Concord aesthetic.
Yeah, kind of. Like you're wearing garbage, and I just, and your guns are garbage. Like all the guns are like a length of pipe that you've fashioned into a firearm, and I don't know. It's stupid. I'm just not into it. But other people like it, and that's totally fine. And you're allowed to like it. It's the same reason why I don't like Fallout. I just, in my like video game, which is a fantasy and purely for entertainment, I don't want to exist or pretend I'm in a universe that I'm wearing trash. Like it's not fun to me. I think it's lame. I think we could be a little more imaginative. Spill the tea emote? Okay. Third-person shooters do bother me. Fortnite grinds my gears in that respect. Turtles get the advantage. Yeah, exactly. I think third-person shooter is absolutely fine in a PvE game or like a co-op game. Totally cool. And there's a place for it, especially with like Warframe, where you have a lot of player, aesthetic expression. And you kind of go like, this is my guy and this is what I look like. And I think I look really cool. You want to be able to see your guy, and you want other people to see your guy, and like you want to see other people reacting to how your spaceman looks and all that shit. That makes sense to me. in a game where there's high stakes and you could literally lose all your shit, which is a part of your aesthetic expression, it's just it fucking sucks. I really hate that third person camera and allowing people to like peek around corners and shit like that, because they will always do it. There's no, it's the optimal choice. I'm gonna catch up on chat real quick. How are they only at a 1.0? I mean, yeah, don't worry about that, Omni. Sparkle likes Tarkov. Yeah, it's a good time. We play a lot together. We play PvE. I've played a lot of PvP, but there are cheaters, and you know, people will like sit in a bush for 25 minutes and then camp the exfil and just kill you after you've had a good run and done all your shit. So it's a lot more chaotic and unpredictable. You're better off in a squad, but you're still susceptible to random bullshit. PvE is a lot more focused and controlled. The bots aren't particularly great, but they're hyper lethal because everything in the game is hyper lethal, and that's very important, I think, to the formula that makes Tarkov a good game. I mean, Omni, you still have an affinity for City of Heroes. You and like your 6 other enthusiast friends that play City of Heroes or whatever. You guys single-handedly are the audience for that.
He's not gonna let you forget that one.
It does not rules, bruh. But you're allowed to like whatever you like. I mean, you want to go see Hans Zimmer in concert, and you like God, what's the other shit that I was saying? Damn it, there's something that you said you liked, and I was like, this is trash, and you shouldn't like that. Whatever. Yeah, no worries at her. Go ahead. You guys can align on that. I'm not taking shots at your music choices. I'm just saying. Yeah, Adder's seen Hans Zimmer twice. See, there you go. You guys could be Hans Zimmer guys. It's totally fine. I don't
Zimmerman, care. If you will.
Yeah, the Zimmermans. Yeah, thank you, Adder. Danny Elfman's better. I'm with that. Was he Oingo Boingo? John Williams was awesome too. Disagree. So, Adder, my take on it was like, it's like going to a fixed course like chef's meal, and you like only eat the bread service. Like, you know that the whole thing is there, but what I'm getting at here with the metaphor is cinematic scoring in live in concert is weird because you don't get the cinema. The bread is the best part. There are many facets to life. There are many ways to enjoy things. And I think a holistic view of something is generally better. But that's just me. I like to see all the things. I can appreciate the bread, but I like the bread in the context of the other, 6 courses, right? The visual effects, the cinematography, the storytelling, the acting performance, like all of that shit matters to me way more. And the cinematic score supports it. So, the music honestly is 80% of a movie for me. What makes me like it or not. That's insane, Omni. That is insane. Still salty that Daft Punk didn't come back for Neutron. Yeah. If I walk out of a movie and a week later I'm still rolling the music in my head, it leaves a huge impression.
Has anyone here actually seen the Neutron?
I have not.
I haven't heard good things aside from the music.
For the record, 7 Days to Die was an alpha for what, 10 years? Yeah.
I went on the Tron roller coaster when I was in Florida. That was cool.
Hell yeah, dude.
That was probably like the best roller coaster at Disney World.
Is the Tron one... I think I've asked you this before. That's not the one that used to be Rock and Roller Coaster, right?
No, it's a totally brand new construction.
Okay.
You're like on like a motorcycle, and it like clamps you in from the behind and over the top. It's kind of interesting.
Okay.
But they also like set you up and then they launch you 0 to 60 in like 1 second, and it was cool. It was very fun.
Nice. Now I got to see if it's 1 second.
It's maybe not 1 second, but it's crazy because you're like in this tunnel and then you go outside over like the line area and you go from like a dead stop to full speed out of this tube into the light. It was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's like supercar race car acceleration, 2.8 to 4 seconds to reach top speed, says AI, which I don't know why. That's a huge range of difference, by the way. It seems like it's not, 1.2 seconds, but that is a massive difference in like G-forces and shit.
Yep.
It
was the only one we had to wait in a pretty extensive line for because my cousin worked there, so we got to skip the line a lot of the time, but we waited for that one for about an hour and a half, and it was very cool. But like Adder said, it's unfortunate that it's only, 45 seconds long or something like that.
Omni, I have no desire to see, well, okay, I have some desire to see the Predator movie because I like Predator movies, but I do not want to
really good reviews.
The trailer was very off-putting to me.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree, but I was just kind of surprised to see that like it was kind of getting a lot of praise.
Bro, the Planet of the Apes trilogy is like highly rated. It's like 4.5 and 5 stars. It's fucking stupid, man. And they have monkey riding horse. I don't get it. You are no Caesar. Ooh, I Caesar. What the fuck is happening? Planet of the Apes trilogy, best movies of all time. Get the fuck out of here, Adder. Stop it.
There's definitely a scene in New Girl where she's dating Sookie's brother from True Blood, and they're talking about the Planet of the Apes movies at one point, and somebody calls them monkeys, and he's like, "Bro,
they are apes."
He like gets really upset. It's so funny.
That's why I call them monkeys, because I recognize the difference. Predator was not really in line with Predator kills all the shit, so I feel like it deviated a bit from what made the original great, but the story was good.
The only thing is every Predator movie ends up that way, and it is never a good thing.
Staunchly Andy Serkis hater, so anything he's attached to. Who is
Fair.
Andy Serkis Predator?
No, he's the main monkey in Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
And he's Smeagol.
Oh, he's Smeagol. You don't like Smeagol, bro? I like Smeagol.
I'm kind of with Adder. I'm not a big Andy Serkis guy. Smeagol's fine, but just I'm not a big fan of him in a lot of stuff.
I liked him in wasn't he like the arms dealer with the robot hand in fucking some kind of Avengers or some shit, or Black Panther?
Yep. Mm-hmm. I believe so.
He's a total asshat. I mean, yeah,
he was really good in Predator, I will say.
I'm not saying I know the dude.
Black Panther, I mean,
he was good in Predator. Imagine.
No, yeah.
He plays Smeagol in the new Predator movie. That would be amazing. Smeagol gets hunted by a predator. That would be so sick. Yeah, Adder. No, I totally feel you on that. I like him for his craft. That's what I appreciate. I appreciate like his artistry. Granted, he really does play like South African dude. That's kind of like mostly what he plays. Which
it's either South African dude or like too serious about a motion capture role. Those are the two options. Yeah.
Yeah. Typecast for sure. Let's see.
So did you like it when Benedict Cumberbatch was like crawling around on the ground and roaring like a dragon and shit when they made The Hobbit?
Yes, that's great.
You appreciate the dedication to the craft.
I absolutely do, honestly. That's just hard, man. You got to crawl around on the ground to pretend you're a dragon. Otherwise, the performance is going to be terrible. Like, there's a huge difference. You got to.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah, no, he's getting it. I appreciate that. Yes, it looks very silly, but
I think to your point, like Benedict Cumberbatch took that extremely seriously and like really leaned into it, and like, yeah. You gotta,
That's why
gotta
I like
recognize
Christian Bale. Like when he crashed
Yes.
out on that lighting guy in that like one clip where it's like
Terminator.
just audio.
Yep.
It's so fucking good, man. Amateur, fucking amateur. What are you doing walking around in my line of sight? I gotta adjust the lights, man. Shut the fuck up. I'm like, yeah, get him, dude. Get him.
Jim, that movie was kind of mid though.
Wait, what was mid?
The Terminator movie that he did that in.
Yeah. I mean, he was great in it. The movie was.
It was like
weird.
decent, and I don't think that any of the Terminator stuff they've made since then has been better. But it's just, I don't know. It's one of those franchises that they've really not done good justice for.
Ooh, yeah, Adder, that's a shitty attitude, man. That's incorrect. It says he made it abundantly clear that he believes that everyone is there to support him. He's the center of the universe, and the VFX artists that build his characters aren't the talent. I mean, that character doesn't exist without the VFX artists and shit. So I don't know. It also doesn't exist without
performance and voice brought it to life, but like somebody else probably could have done that too.
I think he did a pretty good Schmeagle.
Oh, no doubt.
All I had to do was say thank you to the VFX artist that supported my role or something. Yeah, that's not hard. Or at least like recognize that it wasn't all him. But so Adder, my take on actors is that I feel like actors are kind of like race car drivers, where to be someone that is like really high tier like that, you have to think that way. You have to be kind of crazy and shitty. But just remember to like stop being crazy for a minute and thank people that, because like no movie and no performance is like made by one person unless you're, the fuck is that dude's name? Unless you're Tom Hardy, like doing a one-man play, you know, where you perform all the characters. But even then, yeah, where's Turning Cog to support this? The stage crew and like the costume department and all of that shit, they make the performance too.
Well, I would think the Tom Hardy thing had a crew still too. So, and yeah, I'm sure Tom Hardy probably would recognize them because he doesn't seem like a piece of shit. So.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. The best of their craft usually have huge confidence, but huge confidence usually is accompanied by a huge ego.
Yep.
Yes, I agree with that, Adder. And I think, you know, I would guess that Christian Bale doesn't necessarily have a huge ego. I think he was frustrated because it was probably like the 15th take and this dude fucked his whole take up. And so he just lost it. And he's like, man, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm trying to pretend that I'm in a place and you're just walking around like a dickhead. And I'm like trying to focus and do this performance well. And you're fucking me up. Like, I get that. I totally get that. I think it's fair. And for what it's worth, Christian Bale apologized and said he was embarrassed that that behavior was caught. Yeah, like he recognized, he's like, yeah, I was fucked up. I look really bad in that, and I probably shouldn't have been such a dick to that guy. But that guy was acting like a fucking idiot and wasn't doing his job right. People hate on Tom Cruise justifiably, but he's actually outwardly humble. I think people hate on Tom Cruise because he's weird, but he's also special. He's the only actor that does what he does, you know? Like, I think we talked about this. Like, Jackie Chan was, like, the only other one that, like, did all his own stunts and shit like that.
Yeah, he went to space for the most recent Mission Impossible movie, right?
Did he actually go to space?
I believe so. Like, that was the big marketing thing that they did. Was they, like, shot some of it in space.
Yeah. Sick. Yeah, so I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I think people don't like Tom Cruise because of his personal life, and that's weird to me. I really don't like that.
Which comparatively is like not really even that problematic compared to most people.
Yeah, they're, well, especially like rich or powerful or famous or whatever. Like those people get up to some nonsense, and it seems like he does do some nonsense, but you know, compared to some other people, it's not as crazy, right? Like, it's definitely crazy, a little weird. But I don't know. We're all humans. We're all weird. We all have our own quirks, and we all do crazy, weird shit that people don't understand. So I don't know. I think as long as you're not hurting anyone or like making someone else's life, worse through service of your own wants and needs, I don't see a problem with it. Live your life. Human experience is a broad and varied and complicated thing. Let's see what we got today. I know we got a ton of shit that we pulled up for stuff to talk about.
Yep.
Where is the channel? Oh my god, there it is. Okay.
Do that last one first. That one's interesting.
Oh, this is the one. Yeah, I was reading this morning. Okay, so this is really interesting. Adder, you should holler at this or give your thoughts as well. Apparently, Epic and Unity have struck a deal, and Unity content is now available or will be supported in Fortnite. So you could make a map or a game mode in Unity and publish it in Fortnite. So they're trying to tie in UEFN and Unity.
And a lot of these articles aren't touching on, they said something about how Unity has built an amazing new networking protocol, enabling Unity games to come into Fortnite next year. And I've heard some other people kind of referencing this networking protocol thing. So it's some new talk between unconnected systems type thing. Tim Sweeney said something about the metaverse being kind of the inspiration for this and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, they're Robloxing Fortnite, which I think we always knew was going to happen, but I think it's really real. Oh, good point, Adder. Unity's on the ropes. Yeah. So this is probably the precursor to a buyout, is my assumption. That's not good. I think that Unreal gets better with competition from Unity, and Unity gets better with competition from Unreal. So,
do you guys know anything about the Unity commerce platform? I saw something about this. This is that you'll now be able to put your Unreal Engine games into this Unity system that allows you to manage your game across PC, mobile, web, different payment providers. I don't know if it does consoles too, but I guess previously you can only do Unity games in this system. Now you can do Unreal Engine ones as well.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh,
I mean, this blows every other metaverse platform out of the water, though, if this happens, though, because to do VR chat, you have to use a special version of Unity. To do Roblox, you have to use Roblox. To do Fortnite, typically, you have to use Unreal Engine. And now, all of a sudden, you can use Unity and also do Fortnite. And, inevitably, they're saying that UEFN and Unreal become merged in UE6. So I don't know what that'll mean for all of this then, too.
And then Unity is going to become merged into all of that in Unreal 7.
We're going to have Unity backend with Unreal renderer or something here pretty soon.
And then the 3 to 5 years after that, Unreal is going to suck ass, and some other game engine will start to rise up. And
every time they talk about merging UEFN into Unreal for UE6, I get a little worried.
I can't remember how to say hello.
I was going to say
Privyet. Privyet Ghost Guha. I don't know. I can't speak Cyrillic, brother. We're only English in here. So hopefully you speak English. And hopefully that didn't say best viewers on such and such site, because I don't want to have to ban you for that.
It says hi, bro, according to this.
Oh, it says hi, bro?
Yep.
Privyet. Niet говоришь по-русски. I don't speak Russian. Oh, that's Baton. Baton? The 6 P-A-T-A-H. I know that because Sparkle Loser got killed by a PMC named Baton, which is bro in Russian. You do speak English. Awesome. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out. And as I said, Niet говоришь по-русски. Only English, which I don't know how to say in Russian. Sorry, man. A grenade. I'm sorry, Sparkle. Sparkle was really going through it yesterday in Tarkov. She had a very wacky raiding night. But it was cool. Go ahead, Tony.
Seen your Red Bull?
What about Red Bull? Oh,
there's new Red Bull, Fuji apple and ginger. It's really good.
I just like OG Red Bull. I can't like.
I always try the new flavors,
and
and you know, some of them definitely are not very good. I think this one's pretty good though.
I've heard people hate those and love those, says Adder.
I'm a fan. I could only find a sugar-free one at first, and the sugar-free one was really good, and this one is not sugar-free, and it is also good.
I do not like sugar-free anything.
I don't tend to do sugar-free unless it's Diet Coke.
Diet Coke, huh?
My parents always drink Diet Coke growing up, so I just like have a taste for it, and I don't think regular Coke tastes as good.
Not a fan of the new winter Red Bull. Oh,
that's literally what we're talking about.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yep.
So that's apple and what?
Fuji apple and ginger.
Apple ginger. Interesting.
I will say now that I'm drinking the sugar one, I maybe almost liked the sugar-free one better. It kind of tastes different. It didn't taste very sugar-free, which was interesting.
Eric is saying Juneberry is still the best in his opinion.
Oh, they had grapefruit in like, I mean, probably 2015 at this point or something, but I still remember it because it was my favorite one I ever made.
I don't know. I still like regular Red Bull.
I will generally still go for regular. Wait, don't get me wrong. Regular is still king. Yellow's not bad. Peach is not bad. I don't really fuck with any of the other ones.
Peach is pretty good, yeah. Grapefruit slaps. Rip that flavor. All right, Adder's with
grapefruit
you.
was absolutely hands down the best one they ever made. And then they always come out with like their special flavor, and it's in a pink can, and I'm in the store and I see it and I'm like, oh my god, it's finally back, and it's always some bullshit that isn't grapefruit. Peach is really good.
Peach is pretty good.
Yeah, that one is really good. That's a permanent one. They have that all the time.
I'm not really a peach enjoyer, but
oh, you thought it was the worst. Interesting.
Okay, see, I'm kind of with you on that, Adder. Like, I'm not a peach enjoyer, but I've started to enjoy peach more, mostly because of what is it? White peach Calpico, which is a Japanese soft drink. It's delicious. Here, I've got an empty bottle of it right here. This shit is really good. I prefer the strawberry flavor, but I don't know. I like this a lot. Maybe it's like a good IPA, an acquired taste. I feel like that. I feel like that's kind of where I'm going with peach right now. Like, I'm acquiring the appreciation for peach. But like, artificial peach is definitely way different than natural eating an actual peach. Actual peaches are pretty good. Brightside, what's up, brother?
Yo.
Tony, what was I supposed to say?
Oh, too hot bong.
Too hot bong, bro. Tony's legs looking real tired.
Why are my legs looking tired?
Yeah, where are his legs, bro? I don't see his legs. Do you have a special like under desk cam from all that running? Where were you running, Tony? Too hot bong?
Yeah, I had to go get the too hot bong, you know.
Spending the next 2 hours in where wins meet player customization? Oh no. I don't like hearing that, Simple Sins. He pays extra for the Tony under desk cam? Yeah, dude.
What is where wins meet?
It's a game that it's on Steam. Let me have a gander here real quick. I saw it being advertised to
it's like the top thing in my search when I open it.
Yeah. I don't know anything about it, but I was like, nah, I don't care about this.
Open action RPG set in ancient China at the 10th century.
Oh shit, Return to Moria. Return to Moria is up on mine.
Damn,
very positive. I don't know about that. Oh my god, there's so many expansions for it.
I know this is kind of a different tangent, but have you seen the Chinese game that's like a movie where like in between the scenes you have to like make a choice and then like the next thing happens.
I haven't seen that. No, that sounds cool.
It's like a Hollywood like AAA like 4K movie with like hundreds of actors and like this crazy plot and stuff. I can't remember what it's called, but I saw it on like a Ludwig video or something.
Was Order 1886 Chinese? I thought that was I didn't think that was Chinese, bro. They don't let you change the volume at all. It's so damn loud I can't hear the stream. I'm glad you've got priorities. You're just joking? Okay, I got it. I see what you were doing there. It's basically what Tony was talking about. Yeah, I wanted to like the Order, but I don't know, dude. I definitely worked with some people that worked
more
on
than
it.
this Ludwig video, but I'll just play it muted real quick so you can just see what I'm talking about. But it's like a movie, and you like watch what happens, and then like when you get to then you get to something like this, and you have to make a choice about something, and then like depending on what you do, different things will happen. And I think a lot of them just end up meaning that you die if you make the wrong one, and then you just like go back and do it again and make the right one. But like production value is insane. It's wild.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Adder, I think Order 1886 was not meant for all gamers, and the amount of negativity around it is disproportionate because it was like a launch title and like heavily pushed by, you know,
people mostly just not like that it was like
or SIE
5 hours long or something like that.
It was definitely short. It was 8 hours.
Yeah. I remember that being like the main complaint. Most people were like, this game is fucking amazing, but I paid $60 for it and beat it in one sitting. And yeah.
Yeah, I think like I was saying, I think that it's the noise you hear negatively about Order 1886 is from maybe a tourist gamer, and that's like the only game they bought, and they were expecting to play that game all year, and they were like, what the fuck, I beat it in like a week, you know? So okay. But for us, you know, the enthusiasts who are like actually really into games, I think we can appreciate the Order because, you know, we're like, that was a good ride, I enjoyed it, worth my money, worth my time. They did some interesting stuff and took some risks. But yeah, I think that's probably why. That's just my assumption. That's why it catches hate. I did work with people at Bungie that worked on Order. That was interesting. They had mixed feelings. They were like, man, we tried so hard. I don't know why people hate the game. And I was like, yeah, I believe you. I feel that. Okay, so let's see. So AAA mentioned Arc Raiders, and I wanted to talk about this one article. I was looking at news the other day, and this article specifically bothered me. This is by, you know, VGC's managing editor Chris Scullion. I gave him some props in some of the articles that he wrote. This one looks like it was written by AI. This article, the title is Arc Raiders beats Battlefield 6's Steam concurrent for the second weekend as its player count continues to grow. What's the fucking point of making that article? Yeah, it's to get engagement for his website, right? Like, that's it. And that what bothers me is that as I look through this, I took some screenshots of some of the shit that he's saying. Okay, so he's like, Arc Raiders managed peak concurrent player count. You know, he's looking at SteamDB of, you know, 462,000 on one specific weekend, marking its highest peak, which overtook Battlefield 6's peak player count by 20,000 concurrent. Who the fuck cares, man? Who cares? It's not like, I don't know why any people who enjoy games are concerned with the performance of like AAA games. I don't get it. It's a weird meta conversation. This matters if you're like making games and you're in the industry and you're trying to analyze, you know, competition and shit like that. That's where I get it. I don't know why this is a part of the discourse for enthusiasts or, you know, casual gamers or people who just consume game news. Yo, congrats on that watch streak, Brightside. 10 streams, bro. Nice. So the another example that I didn't like, One of the sentences, it's supposed to say, then this past weekend, Arc Raiders managed an even higher peak. But he wrote them. He's the managing editor. And he didn't even edit his own fucking thing and put a typo in there. There was another comment that he made, or another sentence that says, while Arc Raiders has still yet to hit the 500,000 player milestone, an editor and a journalist knows that you don't say has still yet. You would say has yet or still has not hit. Like, has still yet to hit is such an awkward grammatical turn of phrase. So what I'm getting at here is that even though I like Chris Scullion when he makes some good articles, this one I'm just like, I'm disappointed. I'm like, dude, what are you fucking doing here? Why are you comparing concurrency numbers with like SteamDB, which is not necessarily perfectly accurate anyway? Why are you participating in this conversation? It's not healthy for anyone in the industry as consumers or people who make stuff. Like, it's just not a good conversation for anyone to have, because you get the people who are like Arc Raiders heads that are like, my game is better than your game. It's like, dude, you just play a game. It doesn't fucking matter. This tribalism is so stupid. Why are we getting outraged and fighting with each other over which game is more popular or has a bigger player base? Who the fuck cares? It doesn't matter. Just play a game if you like it. If you don't like it, go play a different game. There are literally thousands of good games to go play and enjoy. There will be something that you will like. So anyway,
I was telling you about the Shroud thing, and I hadn't remembered the details, but what actually happened is that he encouraged his fans to make sure to go and vote for Arc Raiders so that Expedition 33 would not win, and had never played Expedition 33. And a lot of people criticized him for that.
Yep. Wouldn't have made a typo if it was written by AI. That's a joke because he and his directors replaced his writers with AI. Yeah. Nah, I'm with you on that, Adder. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, how are you so low effort and lazy with this thing you chose to publish, but then you make another really good article? Like, dog, come on. Like, your craft is fucking dying. Like, you can make a clickbaity article if you want to, but don't do something about player concurrency and obviously use like AI to generate this. Or if you wrote it, it's like 4 paragraphs long, 5 paragraphs long. It doesn't draw any conclusions. It just talks about SteamDB concurrency numbers. And I'm like, this is not gaming news, bro. If the cycle's slow, do a better job, man. Write stories. That's your job. That's what journalism is. I don't know. Maybe he has ghostwriters. He's the managing editor. He needs to make sure that the content is good. He chooses what to publish. It's crazy. Let me just double check that I'm not talking shit. Deputy editor, sorry. He's not the managing editor. But he's an editor. He's got 18 years of experience. He was formerly official Nintendo Magazine, UK and CVG. Wait, what's CVG? LFQ, are you here? Help me with the European talk. What's CVG? Okay, so let's move on from that. LFQ's like, bro, I don't know. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about either. That might just be like journalism. Yeah, that might be like journalism blabber. I don't know what that is. Never mind. I thought it was a Euro-specific thing. He laid off his writers, hires ghostwriters, AI, edits ghostwriter-written article, AI, with typo, profit. Yeah, exactly, Adder. That type of behavior will never, ever advance gaming journalism. It's just do better, man. I know you're capable of doing better. I've seen some good shit that you've written. I know he can't hear me. I'm just yelling into the void, but I guess I'm yelling at you guys about it. But it is what it is. Let's see. Okay, so that was my Arc Raiders beef. What else do we have here? Okay, another Ubisoft issue. Since we were talking about AI, Ubisoft says AI generated art in Anno 117 was a placeholder which slipped through our review process. There was I guess like a motion graphic or like some kind of a graphic that was clearly AI because it had like a deformed hand and like some weird shit going on. People found this and posted this on Twitter. So who wrote this one? Is this Chris Scullion? Yeah, this was Chris Scullion. This is, I think, gaming news. This is relevant to the conversation around games and AI and like what AI means and why AAAs are using AI and all of that shit. Oh yeah, he's referencing a Reddit post. So this he did more work on than the player concurrency. Hey, what's up, Sushi Fu? How you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Almost broke their own record of 0 days without incidents. Yeah, exactly, dude. So, they said this image was a placeholder asset that unintentionally slipped through our review process. I don't like. Come on, guys. You're Ubisoft. What do you mean unintentionally slipped through? Like
we've talked about this before too, and it's just like if you're gonna write like "fuck you" in a test log or something when you're building an app or something like that, you shouldn't do that because there's like a non-zero chance that you're going to forget about it and leave it in there and ship it to prod, and you know who knows what your job is and if you're going to get in trouble for something like that.
Yep.
And I think you just got to know with this AI art stuff, especially, it's like if you're putting it in there, there's a non-zero chance that it's going to end up in prod, and you need to, I don't know, have a process that ensures that doesn't happen, I guess would be the main thing.
The entire pipeline failed there.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, and there's no excuses for Ubisoft. There are none. Like they have, you know, some of the most resources and, you know, experience. There's just no excuse for it. It's crazy that they would like, oh, we accidentally did this. Like, yeah, no shit, it was on accident. But if it wasn't on accident, you guys did it on purpose, and you thought you weren't going to get caught. And then when you did get caught, you're like, oh, it was a mistake. Oops. Like, I just, come on. We had engineers write inappropriate things in our app as placeholders a long while back. Our VP did a presentation to, oh, that's bad, dude. My error log's cussing me all the time. Nice. I wonder if the COD team is going to use that excuse with the whole BO7 AI content. Yeah, unintentionally slipped through our review process. The art stolen from graphic designer Anti-Real unintentionally slipped through our review process. Like, guys, there's no fucking excuse at that level. Moo in your error logs? Okay. I mean, if that works for you. I think I've told you guys before when I was talking about like platform cert and all that other stuff. I want to say I think it was, I can't remember what release. Anyway, there was a so cert is very expensive when you go to publish on a platform. So, you know, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. You have to pay a fee. They do a review. They look at everything in your code, and then will either certify you for release or not. It's very expensive. I'm talking like tens of thousands of dollars. I know that there was a picture of someone's bare ass that wasn't even included in the game, but it was like a joke, and they, you know, checked it in. And of course, that release failed cert because there was a bare ass. Even though it would have never been surfaced to the player, it was like in the source files. And that cost the studio $60,000.
That's like the GTA hot coffee thing, though. Like that theoretically should have never been executable in the game. But if you open the game up and, you know, reactivated that function or whatever, then you could turn it on. And I guess they got privy to stuff like that after that happened.
What are you trying to say, Brightside? Did you get edited or did you edit yourself?
I don't think it would have censored him in the middle of a underscored word like that.
Yeah, Adder, be careful. So one of the things that I've seen, I don't think you would get, like bopped and fail cert. I think what it would do is potentially change your ESRB rating, and that might make it so that you guys have to be like, oh, we're this ESRB instead. My understanding though is that like Mortal Shell's probably mature anyway, so you'd probably be all right with that. But yeah, it's best
like they probably have a tool to like
ass.
scan all your strings for offensive words and just like bring them up. Like I could imagine that being a very easy thing for them to do. It's kind of surprising to me in Vince's story that they like found a picture of somebody's ass just like in a folder in a game executable that has to have a million files in it or something. That's kind of wild.
Cert is a very serious process. But yeah, like I said, it's also really expensive. So because they failed cert, they had to push back, make another build, remove that. So like the process and the cost was way more than 60 grand because the studio has to go through effort to fix that, resubmit. That causes delays. So if you're looking at operations costs, like the impact of that cert failure is fucking big. It's like not a trivial thing. So yeah, like just be careful. Especially, for those of you guys that work in AAA or AA or whatever, if you have platform partnerships and shit like that, like just be really careful. Okay, so that was Pax Romana.
You were talking about Marathon. I put a relevant Marathon thing in there that you might want to mention too.
Yeah, let's see what this thing is. We'll go there. I don't know who this guy is. Alberto Mielgo.
He is the director of the cinematic. I think the original cinematic that they first came out with. That was like the guy whispering the Ozymandias shit. I think he made that. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
This is what we're talking about here.
Oh, he's Oscar-winning.
I just thought it was funny that he denies his team touched Bungie's plagiarized material. that was the main one that I thought was interesting.
And he says it was not AI generated. Yeah, interesting. I wonder why people are accusing him of it being AI. Well, I mean, I guess I don't wonder why. Everyone is accusing everyone.
It's crazy because it's only like 6 months ago or something, but it's like the tech was not there for that to have been AI generated at the time. I couldn't have done it.
I did like this. I can't believe we've reached a point where I have to clarify this, but here it goes. This is not AI. Hello. Yeah, good shit, dude. Get him.
We're starting to have the opposite problem I'm seeing now, where like people who make really, really good 3D renders, people just go, "What AI did you use to make this?" And they're like, "I made this myself with my hands." And they're like, "No way, that's AI. You're lying." And it's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe we're doing this backwards now."
Oh yeah, exactly. Brightside. Yeah, you can't name files. You can't do that shit. Especially at bigger. Like I was saying. This all matters for much bigger stuff. If you're an indie and you're making quirky little things like that, but you're only publishing on like itch, it doesn't matter. If you're publishing on like Steam, they might care a little bit. Just don't open yourself up to liability and the cost of having to make pivots and changes. But if you're working with hardware platforms like the major guys, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, don't even fucking take the risk because they will fail you and it will be very expensive. All right, I got to read Adder's message.
Did you see his guy's response here real quick too about this? He called them sphincter, smelly press, and headline readers.
Hold on, I gotta read that. You know what I hate the most? Working our asses off for years to create something cool, only to get it eclipsed by sphincter, smelly press, and headline readers. Go whistle around.
I don't know what "go whistle around" means, but
I think he's trying to be like, "Fuck off, you guys."
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
I've heard that one before. Sphincter, smelly press, and headline readers.
Yeah. So this is the thing that I was talking about. Headline readers. This is a problem. This is a real problem. People don't read articles. They don't like go, wait, what's the source of this statement? And then if it's like Reddit, you're like, that's not a legitimate source, dude. Come on. That's not, something that is meaningful. Did you guys hear about the CS2 cat incident? I have not. Go ahead, LFQ. Let us know. Elucidate us, brother. Adder says, this one time I was at ATV, we had a married intern who was sleeping with the married AD. Oh boy. Gave her his password to bypass P4 current lockout during cert. Oh my god, they checked in broken textures. No! 1.4 million! Oh, dude, for not catching it? Wow, dude, that's so fucked, Adder. Yeah, Adder, we should write a book that's better than Jason Schreier's Blood, Sweat, and Pixels because he never fucking made a game in his life. But we should write a book about our experiences, and it'd be pretty good.
I saw people complaining on the game dev Reddit today about how 90% of the game dev advice in the world comes from people who have never made a game now.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. It's crazy. And I'm not saying, when I say that, it's not to say like those people are always wrong. They're not. Sometimes they're right. But get off the internet, guys. Or stay on the internet and come here. You guys are already here, so it doesn't matter. But, tell your friends, tell your family. Tell anyone who's interested. This was COD Advanced Warfare like 3 weeks before we were meant to print to disc. It was a huge internal scandal. Dude, that's so fucked. Yeah, I mean, Let's Quest the fuck out of this shit was also an internal scandal, but that was like, why? That should have never even been a scandal. She checked in textures that broke every tree across the entire project. Oh no, dude! That's so fucked. I really hope that person lost their job, because that's like an unacceptable failure. Like that's core competency and like responsibility. You should lose your job for that. It's an incredibly costly mistake, and like very avoidable.
Like 10x your salary, you should probably lose your job. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an unavoidable mistake. You just got to do your fucking job correctly and don't fuck up. Like, also, guys, don't sleep with your coworkers.
Also true.
Don't do it. There's plenty of other ways to meet people and have a relationship. But if you do start a relationship, get different jobs, work at different companies. It's just safer that way. The amount of liability and trouble you can like get yourselves into is not worth it. It's just really fucking not worth it. She was promoted. Oh my god, of course. Of course, dude. Insane Whirlwind. Oh, dude, I'm sorry, Adder. Yeah, that is how it goes, though. That is this industry with all of its rot and corruption and bloat. Disgusting. I'm not even surprised, bro. Yes, okay, we got the LFQ drama. Let's go. Or the CS drama from LFQ. A community map that was picked by Valve to go into active rotation and was playable on the official servers for about a week had a pretty intricate Easter egg where you could have a little cat in a bucket come down a wire. Well, then it so happened that the name chosen, oh my god, it wasn't spotted by Valve Invalidation. Bro, that's crazy.
Was it just like the file name under the hood, or was that like something that was visible to players?
Yeah, LFQ, was that visible in game or was that like in the code? A year later, an investigation was opened by corporate HR after complaints. Several directors in HR were fired. I was forced to sign a non-arbitration and NDA. Well, bro, you broke your NDA. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone.
It's just the friend DA for everybody here.
Yeah, for the internet, the friend DA.
Keep a secret, guys.
Oh, you had the NDA for the other gig because, oh, I see. So they remedied the situation by fixing it for you. Yeah. Oh, five, fuck him, dude. True. True and real. Come and get me. No, don't get him. We love him. Don't hurt him. He's special. Come and get me. Molon Laby type shit or whatever the fuck that is. was NDA.
It's, ancient Greek for there is a pistol in the glove box of this car.
Yeah, exactly. Ancient Greek, steal the guns out of my vehicle. Yeah, dude. I think we've talked about this before. But something you guys, out there who haven't made games or worked at AAA's may not understand is that information control is very, very tight in the way that these legal agreements you sign to work at a studio are wild. Yo, what's up, Landair? And when I say wild, I mean, I think I've told you guys about how I had to negotiate with like legal team and like, C-level people and VPs and shit at a company I was working for because of Fractal Grove, because I was like, I started a business. The agreement they wanted me to sign for non-compete was I could not make any software for 1 year after leaving the company. I was not allowed to work on anything on my own. And I was like, no, guys, I'm not doing this. Like, I already have a business. I can't fucking do this. But, it took us like 2-3 months. And for what it's worth, they met me in the middle. And they were like, they wrote a new, I redlined their non-compete and NDA with a lawyer. Sent it back to them. They said, we agree to all of this. This seems fine. And it was totally fine for me. But here's the thing. Most people who get into games don't fucking know about that shit. And they're just happy to get the job. So like, yeah, man, sign away and just go to work. You should read it. It's crazy.
Here's my strategy with any legal document somebody gives you like that too, that like you kind of don't want to sign, is just like blow it off and see if they follow up. See how long you can get away with not signing it.
I don't think you should do that either.
About it. Well, no, because like what you're talking about specifically in this case is like 100% their legal liability. It doesn't harm you really in any way if you're just like, oh, sorry, I forgot about that. And they're just like, hey, we really need you to sign that. And you're like, oh yeah, no problem, I'll take care of it. But like, they might not, and then you never signed it, and then you just like don't have that problem if something happens.
It was actually brought up during the Abbey labor lawsuit, but all the names were redacted. It was so wild. Dude, that must be crazy. I did that at Avalanche with their non-arbitration doc, and I just didn't sign it. Nobody followed up. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Let's go. All right. That's fair. Yep.
And you just have to be willing. Like, if they do follow up, just be like, oh shit, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. I'll take care of that right away. And then do it. Like,
when they're suing Adder and they get into like, the legal team is talking, they're like, oh man, this the signing of this legal document slipped through our review process. Yeah, oops. So yeah, fucking clown shit. Yeah, how you doing, Landair? I was talking with Anime and he said you guys have been playing a lot of Arc Raiders. I was talking a little bit about it earlier today. I think Arc is a fine game. It's very cool. It does a lot of good shit. It's just not for me. I'd rather play Tarkov personally, or Dukov. But I got some beef with Dukov. The first 2 maps of the game are really good. The progression's great, and then you hit a wall in Farmtown in the 3rd map. There's only 5 maps or something like that. So I'm like halfway through it, and then I just hit this wall. And the wall is there are some bosses that have mechanics that you can't really counter. So like they didn't do a lot of the polished balance for like the gameplay systems that make the game feel really good for like mid game moving up. And that's where I think Tarkov does a really good job, is that, it's been in development for 10 years. So they've figured it out. They've made a lot of really fun stuff. All these systems that intricately work together make a really nice experience. So, and again, I'm mostly speaking to PvE. If you're playing PvP Tarkov, that's a whole different, barrel of fish or whatever the fuck you want to say. It's tricky because PvP content has some wacky stuff that goes on. My beef with Tarkov is it's one of the least intuitive games ever. Oh, absolutely. Yes. I think that's one of the worst things that BSG does, is their UX is atrocious. Doesn't need to hold my hand, but having a cooldown between scav runs sucks. I think it's because they want you to play PMC. And, Lander, I've been playing, Tarkov for a couple of years now. And when I ripped the Band-Aid off and started playing more PMC and like losing my kits, I actually prefer to do it now. Scav is really, really nice for learning maps and getting, understanding the flow of the game and like dipping your toes in. But as you become more seasoned in the game, you want to PMC a lot more. Like, it becomes the norm. So I'm at the, couple of years in of playing the game that I'm at the point where I'm like, I should just play PMC like all the time. Because when you scav, you're really only getting loot. And loot isn't really the main focus of the game. It's player progression in the experience, the Skyrim experience systems where, like, if you overload your PMC and you're running, you're like stronger, so you can run faster, jump higher, carry more weight, all that shit. Like, the more guns you use, the better the guns are for your player. You get handling and aim and recoil control and all kinds of shit like that. All these little passive bonuses that stack up, and they really help a lot. You get none of that on scav. So there's like a time and a place to run scav. And I think that's one of those, I've referred to it as like degenerate player behavior, not as a pejorative towards players, but I would say it's a failing of game design. So here's the catch-22 of scav in Tarkov. You need a way for players to go in that is lower risk than losing all their shit while they're learning the game. And offline mode didn't always exist, so they added scav. So we're looking at like tech and experiential debt that has existed in the game for a long time. Scav is a good band-aid, but it's not a super elegant solution. I don't know that I have a better one. But yeah, absolutely. I think it's a failing of game design for sure. Because what it does is it makes players think like, well, I'll just scav because then I get all this loot. But then you start to get bored and you start to go like, I don't know what I should do now. And you feel more comfortable scavving. You don't want a PMC. So I think their secondary band-aid was to put a timer on scav. The other thing, Lander, that you may not be aware of is you can cut the scav timer down to less than 15 minutes with hideout upgrades and other shit. So you can make it so you can scav really, really frequently. But when you get to that point, you want to PMC more anyway. So it's interesting. They figured out some like good ways to work around it. But that degenerate player behavior of, well, I'm just going to scav all the time, it feels like that's the right thing to do. But that's kind of like the Destiny loot cave. Players think this might be an optimal way to play, but it's actually not. And it's worse for you to scav more than PMC. Omni's right. The adrenaline of playing PMC is tight. Yeah. You need that tension. You need the risk. Nothing hits as hard as Tarkov in the highs and the lows. No other game. And that's what I love about it. It's just so good. Last time we played was 2018, way before hideouts. Dude, the game is so much more different now than it was in 2018. It's wildly different. And if you bought it back then, Lander, it's worth just hopping in and playing again. Just check it out because you already own it. So you might as well just like see what it's like. Especially if you bought Edge of Darkness Edition, the really expensive one. You get so much, like, it's not advantage, it's a time save. Yeah, it helps a lot. But I would recommend PvE over PvP. I think PvE Tarkov is way more interesting. There's too much chaos and unpredictability in PvP. But I could see myself being like, I've played so much PvE. I understand a ton about the game now. I'm bored with that. And then I'll probably only play exclusively PvP. But I'm a ways away from that.
We got to get that Cyberpunk menu.
So. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I think if I played Tarkov today, I would play the single player Tarkov mod. Dude, you don't even have to do that, bro.
The in-game PvE is pretty good. You don't really need to jump through all the hoops anymore. You still can if you want to add, all of the other mod things, but
So Lander, I'll say this. Tony, my wife, and I, and Omni, we played Tarkov PvE, which is, it's a paid expansion. I think it's like $30 or $40, something like that. But you can full co-op. You can play like a full 5-person squad in PvE with zero nonsense. You don't get hackers. You don't get cheaters. You don't get any of that shit that is just going to ruin your run. You don't get the guy exfil camping and hiding in a bush. Dude, it's good. It's really good. That's my preferred way to play now.
It's fucking awesome. Yeah. And that was the other thing with SPT is that you couldn't play multiplayer. And
yeah,
you can in the official one.
Yep. So they fixed all that, Lander. It's worth it. You should check it out. And if you want to play with us, I'd be happy to bring you along for the ride. We have a lot of fun. Let's see. So that was the Ubisoft AI thing. I looked at some more AI things. Let's look at this one. Okay, so this is another Ampere Analytics article. This is interesting because I think this is one that we all know is true. If you're an enthusiast gamer and you've been gaming most of your life before the internet, we all know this is true. This is one of the advantages of video games. Gaming traditionally throughout human history has been a multiplayer experience. It wasn't until software that games could be single player. There were a couple games like Solitaire that you could play by yourself, but the variety of experience is significantly higher with software and video games. So anyway, this article is more players in the UK, US, and Japan still prefer single-player games to multiplayer, a survey found. So again, this is Ampere Analytics studying markets. This is a big data firm that AAA companies will go get data from and then make business decisions based on this like big data aggregation service and shit like that to do business analytics for the games industry. I was talking a lot of shit about these guys last time we read one of these articles because it was talking about the core gamer demographic, or the biggest gamer demographic is like 65 plus and they play mobile games. And I'm like, yeah, but the qualifying criteria for what makes a gamer is someone that played at least 1 hour of a game of any kind per week. So if you played an hour of Candy Crush, you qualify as a gamer. And I'm like, that's not the same fucking thing. But a lot of people on social media were like, look at this, the average gamer is 42 years old. And I'm like, no, they're fucking not. It's skewed by the 65-year-olds who play mobile only, and they play like, an idle game or something, like, or they play Candy Crush, right? Like, it's crazy. So I think that it's fairly obvious as a gamer that the more popular type of game is a single player experience over a multiplayer game. Most gamers don't want to play multiplayer. They want to relax and have a non-stressful time and play some single-player shit. They want to just go immerse themselves in a story and play an RPG, Like, that's super clear. It's, like, obvious information. Especially the core, which is 20% of the total audience. The core demo, which buys more than 2 games a year, supports the entire industry. That 20% of player base supports, they spend more money than anyone else by far. So that's the point that I'm trying to make. That group is going to play single player games more than multiplayer games. Casuals that pop in, pop out are going to play a free to play multiplayer game. And that might be the only game they play that year. So think about it that way. I just think it's, it's kind of a weird take to be like, oh, this is surprising. It's not surprising at all. Single player is the advantage of software entertainment. It's just better. I do love Melver Idol. Tony, is that what you're talking about with Buck Bumble?
I don't know what Melver Idol is.
What has Buck Bumble in it?
They're playing the Buck Bumble song in this mix that's playing right now.
Oh, nice.
I put on some mix that's called like video game music to walk into or something.
Nice.
Did literally a single person in the chat ever play Buck Bumble? I have to know.
Tony and I both played Buck Bumble. That was N64, right?
So fucking good. Yep.
Yeah, you were a little bee and you shot some robots and flew around like a yard and in a house and stuff.
Rocket League in it in like 1997 or something like that. No Buck Bumble enjoyers in the chat, huh? All right.
We got to give him a minute. Oh, Brightside likes the stairs. Those stairs look fucking sick. Thanks, bro.
The stairs look like they're infinite, but you're just stuck going around the same single section loop, but you could do it as many times as you want, and it looks like you're just going to go forever.
Yeah, so this is that myhouse.wad tech that Tony showed off 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yep. And it does a thing where it hides this water plane, and then it puts this fog volume at the top, so that when you go in and you look down, you see the volumetric fog, so it looks like it goes on forever, and then I kind of replicated the same thing at the top.
Omni Buck Bumble's way before City of Heroes. What happens
right now?
when you
jump, I'll just fall. Yeah.
But there's also no jumping in the game Brightside, so you won't be able to.
If I just walked off the edge, though, I would just fall into the void. But I actually thought about just like putting a player blocker volume, which is like
you
an
should.
invisible wall, just like around this square, and
Yeah,
then
you
just won't
should
be able to walk off.
Yeah, I
So-
think we're gonna make it so that you can't do that, because this
I
is more about
presumed we were gonna
atmosphere
like
and stuff.
probably dress all of this up too. But
Yeah,
this is just from the modular Gothic fantasy setup, and I was experimenting with packed level actors and some stuff. So these are every section of this tower is like a packed level actor, and I can just stack them as many times as I want to. And I have this blueprint that just lets me say how many times I want it to appear, like this. If I go tower generator, I can go like, I want it to be 50 tall, and if we hit build, it's gonna be crazy, but because it goes 50 in each direction from the middle, because I want it to go down too, but it can do that. And then with the bridges, I can say like, I want, I don't know, 100 bridge sections out of each door, and we'll generate here. It's a lot of things, but every one of these bridge sections is also a packed level actor. I think I can probably do this more efficiently a different way, but that's kind of how that all works right now. And then, like I said, it's just an illusion. You always stay in this one section, but it kind of feels like you can go up or down in as much as you want.
yeah, and remember the pillars for the game. This is a psychological horror walking simulator, so we want to play with some things that will unnerve a player. In height and infinite staircases and stuff like that is definitely unnerving. So that's why this is going this way. You know, we're leaning into different concepts, and we're kind of doing like a greatest hits of unnerving things that you can look at, right? Like that's what liminal space horror is all about. Also, this is a liminal space. So yeah, that's why we're doing it this way. And that's why it's, you know, no running, no jumping, you know, there's colliders to stop you from falling into a hole, stuff like that.
Adder, could I use that technique to make it so that like, if I'm in this hallway and I'm in a night scene and then I spawn that lake scene that we were just in at the other end, so that there's going to be daylight here. Like, I'm sure if you saw me testing earlier, like it kind of flashes in and obviously doesn't look very good. But I do the fog thing such that I wouldn't really be able to see the light or the end of the tunnel initially, and then do some sort of transition as I walk down the tunnel so that it'll like slowly brighten. I was trying to think about how to do it with like a post process or something. It just felt messy, so I haven't done it yet. But what you were saying kind of sounds like maybe it would work.
While we're waiting on that, I wanted to say, you know, Omni says, I only play multiplayer games. I hate playing by myself. I mean this in a way that is not derisive whatsoever, but Omni, you're a casual gamer. You're the 80%. You're not the 20% that carries the industry, which is okay. That's totally fine. But people who genuinely enjoy gaming as like one of their core hobbies or their third place or whatever you want to call it, any of these psychological terms, they want to play single player games. Like they just do. It's not that they will only play single player games, but that it's just a different experience altogether. You don't have other people's wants and needs that you're playing with in a multiplayer capacity. You get your own experience. You connect with the art on your own level, all that shit. So do liminal space puzzle games have an abnormally high number of female players? Sample size of n equals 1 here, but my ex was a very, very casual gamer. These types of games got her more into gaming.
I would say maybe. Like,
I honestly don't know. I've never looked at any of that data, Landair. But I do know that it's a niche audience.
I can definitely anecdotally think of more female gamers that are into like horror-esque games than almost any other genre, aside from a few. So
also,
yeah, I don't know.
Anecdotal support. The whole reason we're making this is because of a conversation I had with Stevie. Stevie Ray Drawn.
Yep.
Stevie Ray Drawn loves psychological horror, liminal space games, and she was like, "You could just make this shit." And I was like, "Yeah, we really can just make this shit. It'd be really easy and a big win for us." So that's why we started making Dread. Bright side. Oh shit. Bright side's off the too hot bong today. I love that, dude. Yeah, typical. What are you gonna do with that more square feet? Buy more knickknacks to fill it up. Maybe get some blown glass like turtles, like 35 of them, all in different styles, and they go in like a glass hutch. That goes in the new room. Liminal space games are walk-in closet simulators if you really want them to be. Dude, you're not wrong at all. Holy shit. Yeah, dude, that's real as fuck, Brightside. Funnily enough, my SO complains that we have too much square footage. Yeah, Adder. So like I feel like there's, when you're a happy couple, there's like a right amount of space for both people living in the house. Obviously, if you have kids and your family gets bigger, you need more space because each person kind of needs their own amount of space. And there is like a cap on that I want to say is subjective. Certain people need more space or less space. So like our house is perfect for us because we each have our own personal spaces. Like I've got my own office. My wife has her own office. We have a shared bedroom. We have a guest bedroom. So, we've got like a lot of space, but I think if we got bigger for living quarters space, it would be too much. And like, we wouldn't know what to do with like another room, or another 2 rooms. We have 2.5 bathrooms. And that the half is on, like the main floor with the, I don't have a huge house, guys, so relax. But the half is on the main floor, like kind of in the living room area. It's like a powder room, just a toilet and a sink. But the other 2 are like up by the bedrooms. And that is, we got like bathtub shower. So like full bath. And that's kind of like perfect, right? Like we obviously don't use one of the bathrooms at all because it's kind of the guest bathroom. But what's nice is that we can like have people come stay with us and they don't have to, rent a hotel room or something like that because we have just enough space. It does get a little busy. Like we've had some of our friends who also have families like stay with us and they got kids and shit. And that is too many people in our house. Like it's just way too many. So yeah, Omni, chill the fuck out, guy with a house in your house.
In a gated community.
Yeah, in a gated community. He calls it a casita. He's got his own fucking, like, he's got his own house aside from his house that he can go to. 1, stay out of my personal space. 2, get out of that personal space. Yeah, exactly, Tony.
It's from when Rick and Morty was good.
It's more carpet we have to vacuum. Dude, Adder, the hack to that is put in fucking hard floors, man. Put in tile or hardwood. There you go. Solved. Then you just Roomba that shit or, sweep it every month. I think our house is perfect. Upstairs is dedicated home office space. Downstairs is the house and then full shop attached. Yeah, dude, that sounds sick, Adder. LFQ, you're on your way? Hell yeah. There's probably more space if you want to go visit Omni. Man's got a house and a house. Hardwood floors upstairs for next year for sure. Builder refused to install hardwood floors when we spec'd. Maybe it's because they thought you'd complain about hardwood floors on the 2nd floor. Because I feel like it'd be noisy, bro. But do you, man. If that's what you guys want, like go for it. Absolutely. It's your own house. I would be worried about the noise. We have like our basement, that's where my office is. Basement is also storage. There's basically like 1 room, that's it. And there's like a little common area and then like a closet, utility closet, unfinished bathroom, so it's got all plumbing hookups and shit, but there's no walls. It's just framed and whatnot. But that is carpeted, and then it goes up to the main floor. The main floor is hardwood, and then the 2nd floor, which is where the bedrooms are, that is carpeted. So we're like half carpeted, half hardwood, but like the common area where, if we have guests over and shit like that, everyone's hanging out in the living room and the kitchen and all that. And then, the dining room and the living room are kind of like adjoining. It's just like kind of a larger space, with like a bar in the kitchen. That's all hardwood. And being in my office, if people are walking around on that hardwood area, dude, it's so fucking loud. It's crazy how loud it is if I'm in my office. I actually need more space for all my hobbies. Omni, you should refine your skill level in some of your hobbies instead of collecting hobbies. But I mean, live your life the way you want. If that makes you happy, cool, bro. Yeah, it was we get complaints and no longer offer hardwood upstairs. Yep, that's what I figured, dude. And the builder doesn't want to get into that situation because then they have to be like, they have to write up some boilerplate that you're going to agree to it and you're fine with it so that you can't complain, you know, so they could just shut you down immediately if you want to complain. So I could see why they would just be like, nah, we're not doing it, dude. Downstairs is all hardwood aside from bedroom. Hell yeah, dude. Polished concrete is sick, honestly. It's a little... like, I could fuck with it, but I don't think my wife would be happy with it at all. I do like polished concrete, though. It's really nice. I remember back in the day when I was playing a lot of Halo LAN. So we're talking like 20 years ago. My Halo LAN buddies were like, yo, we're going to play this money match over at this dude's house. We met this guy. So we need you on the squad. We're bringing the heaters. And we went and we destroyed these guys. And, you know, they won some money. I didn't care. I just had fun playing. But this dude's house was sick as fuck. He owned a concrete finishing and construction company. So his whole downstairs and like certain places in his house had polished concrete, and it was like a specialization of his business. It was fucking sick, dude. It was really, really cool. The vibes that it gave were like, the vibes were a little weird though, I have to admit. It was kind of like warehouse or you know, like a Best Buy or something like that. It felt very industrial. And I don't know that you'd want to live in a space like that. So I think if you have a mix of like soft, warm, you know, welcoming spaces and that. So where I thought it was really cool is he had like, you know, glass trophy cases and shit with all his video game collections and stuff down in that area. And he had like a home theater, and that's where he was playing. And we were like set up on a, you know, TV outside of the home theater or something. So like we didn't get to play in the cool spot, but they still got fucking bodied, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly, Brightside. Too hot bong. What's up, Turning Cog? How you doing, brother? I was hoping you'd come by. I was talking earlier about we were talking about actors and like how some are weird and some are not, and regardless of talent and all that stuff. Adder was being a Andy Serkis hater, saying that Andy Serkis is like an egomaniac and, you know, acts like the performance is all about him. And I went off on a tangent saying how, you know, yeah, maybe it is all about you if you are like Tom Hardy performing a one-man play, like blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, wait a minute. No, it's not all him. There's like a production crew and there's like, you know, stagehands and all that other shit. So there's still a lot of fucking support, even if it's a one-person performance. Unless you're like busking on a street corner doing a one-man play, like, sure. You know, so even then I was saying like, I wish Turning Cog was here so he could advocate for like what that's like and how hard that work is and how the production doesn't work without the fucking rest of the crew in the theater or whatever, in the venue, setting up lighting and making sure everything's good and all that other shit, right? Turning concrete? Yeah, dude, exactly. Our house is very modern inside with warm colors, so I think it'd fit well, but definitely very specific to the build. My parents did brick floors for downstairs. Dude, that's crazy.
Brick floor is crazy.
Okay. Like red brick or like what kind of brick? Now I'm really curious. And then Adder goes, Circus is a dick. Yep. Yeah, I want to know about this brick floor action, dude. Okay. So anyway, yeah. I talked about how core gamers prefer single player games. And I don't think that is a shocking thing to anyone who makes gaming their main hobby. I think everyone can agree there's just a different experience that is really, really nice about a single player game, especially if it's narrative driven, like movies and stories and reading books and shit like that. Perfect. So let's look at this one. What was this thing about the Helldivers stuff? The CEO was saying some shit. Okay, we were talking about AI, so let's talk about it a little bit more. So Shems Yoriani, the CEO of Arrowhead, who makes Helldivers 2, was kind of saying what we say about AI. But he's like, surely there's a middle ground here. Most people, whenever they talk about AI, jump to one extreme or the other, which is AI must be used for everything or never use AI for anything. I think he's absolutely right. There is a middle ground. There's a spot where AI makes everyone more powerful. You can complete stuff faster, get to ideas better, be very clear on what you're making, but you still need the people. AI is a tool. You can't I'm mincing metaphors here in my head, so I don't want to use them. But I was going to say, you can't drive a car with just a, socket wrench and a, fucking spark plug, right? You need the whole thing. Those are tools, but the engine is a different thing entirely. It's a terrible metaphor. I don't like it, but yeah. So if you're using AI in making production shit and shipping that's wrong. You don't do that. It gets you to final polished good work faster, and that's the correct way to do it. Completely ignoring AI is going to cripple you, and you'll be less successful than people and competitors that are using AI. But at the same time, if you're solely leaning on AI, you're going to be worse off than people who have actual talent and are making real shit. So yes, there's a middle ground. Everything in moderation. Brightside, I saw some of that. Tell me about Hightail. I know that was a game that was being developed at Riot, and it got canceled. And I saw that
the footage they put out is pretty interesting.
Yeah, do you know anything about it, Tony? I don't even know what kind of.
Oh yeah, I've been following it kind of since the early days because it seemed like it was going to be cool. But the story now is that Riot had bought it 2015 or something like that, a long time ago. And they had decided to rewrite it from a Java and C# engine into a C++ engine, and basically never ever got it as far over that period of time as it already was before they restarted. And then ultimately gave up on it because they had sunk so much money into it, of course. Rather than sitting on it, the original creator was like, we had something, I want to finish it. Can I buy it back from you? I don't think they've released details about what that purchase looks like, but he does have it back now. And he said, I promise I will post a video of the gameplay on day one if we manage to pull this off. And he came through and he posted a 20-minute video of him playing the game. And it honestly doesn't look very bad. Coming from a Minecraft player, it looks like Minecraft with some stuff that is a lot less jank and stupid than Minecraft does it.
Okay, so it's like a Minecraft kind of game?
It was always... So it was started by Hypixel, which was a very popular public Minecraft server that you could join to play Battle Royale games or whatever. And that company was acquired by Riot along with all of their stuff. And they had so much money and resources that they basically said, we're just going to create our own version of Minecraft that does all the stuff that we want it to do. And it definitely comes across a lot closer to Terraria in 3D than Minecraft. So, but yeah, I guess the build that he showed off in this video is their old build from before Riot bought them that they resurrected and started fixing up. They're not using Riot's new engine whatsoever. And he says he's just going to be super transparent, and they're trying to get it out into a beta early access thing as quickly as humanly possible. So he said they're just going to open it up the way that it is right now and then keep improving it. But they're like, you guys have been waiting for 12 years for this game, and I think it's stupid, so we're just going to put it out.
Yeah, Brad said, I don't know if we know how much he did actually pay to get it, but he did it. He bought it back.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if they, gave it to him for $1 or something,
Let's talk about brick floors. Red brick, then use concrete grinder to cut the red brick flat and then seal it. Still feels like brick, but they use an epoxy blend to fill the pores. That's fucking cool.
Interesting. And so is it totally flat? No grout lines or anything?
He was saying it feels like it. So you can still feel the brick floor, but it's all sealed. That's really cool.
Very interesting.
Landair was on AI. It's the reason why the cowards at Ubisoft are too afraid to make another Splinter Cell game. Oh no, this is single player stuff. They can no longer make a good single player experience. Yeah. And Adder agrees, still haven't topped Blacklist. 2 Turning Cog wants local AI models so that he owns what he generates. Well, that's the problem though. Turning Cog is like, you should use it as a tool that you don't need to put your work, the AI work out there in the public in your shipping product. That's what I'm saying. So you should use it as a tool that way. Turning Cog also said, bro, 16-hour days for a whole weekend where nobody sees you, and that is on purpose. Five Finger Death Punch had a truck just for their set. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And that was about, live performance or an actor being, the sole reason why anyone goes to see a thing. And like, nah, a production is like a whole team. It takes a lot of people. Landair says, I'm pretty annoyed Meta hasn't published anything new for Llama, and the good open source models are Chinese now. Nothing against the Chinese, but trading bias and all that. Yeah, totally.
Yep. Yeah, and it seems like strangely Gemini is starting to eke out ahead of almost everything else, which I didn't really see coming.
Brightside, I know you've been around for a while, and I know that you potentially heard some of the conversations that I had early on talking about like running Fractal Grove as a business and how we make bigger games and all that other stuff. And I was telling you that like for some of the ideas we have, we need like $5 to $15 million. And 125 million just to buy an IP is, honestly, that's not that much. You got to consider that Concord was hundreds of millions of dollars, like $300 to $600 million. It's not publicly disclosed, but people are estimating based on industry trends and shit like that. So $300 to $600 million to make a game over the course of 7 years that died within 2 weeks.
Wait, what game was that?
Concord.
Oh, yep.
Just think about that. Like those are the numbers we're talking about. And so, Brightside as an indie dev, a fellow indie, bro, you got to recognize this is who we're competing with. These guys are out there with full armies and fucking armor and howitzers and shit and a coordinated fucking thing. And we're just like, we got our drones with, a gas can strapped to it. If you follow my metaphor here, and we're trying to compete against that war machine. So it's a good thing they don't know what the fuck they're doing, because if they figure it out and get right, Indie's going to be in trouble again. But right now, Indie's in a beautiful place. We can take big fucking swings because these guys are, fraught with hubris and arrogance, and they don't even know what they're doing. And they have, brain dead leadership that is indexing off of focus groups and, big data analytics instead of really understanding what they're making. And I think that's the really beautiful part of games, is that there are enough art that you can't make, and enough of a niche hobby that you can't make something that is like broad audience turbo slop that everyone wants to pull up to the trough and eat, because it's just not there. The audience doesn't exist. By contrast, you can make a trilogy with CGI apes, Planet of the Apes, and people fucking love that. There's no game that really fits that right now. COD has been trying to do that forever, and it's not good. I'm running Fractal Grove? Yeah, dude. I know, weird, right? Imagine saying that your modded GTA server is worth 125 mil. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. As I said that, I thought of NoPixel. Yeah, NoPixel is pretty crazy. You better go catch it. Is your Fractal Grove running?
Not very good, Brightside. Not gonna lie.
I liked it just because I didn't know where he was going with that. That was good misdirecting.
No, him and Boom got me so fucking good last night. It was it was so embarrassing, and he was about falling out of his chair laughing at it. And he said he was gonna get you today, and he's been trying, and he did not do a very good job.
Glad he got it last night. Yeah, dude.
He had already gotten me, and then Boom came in and tried to get me. But Boom comes in and is like, "Hey Tony, do you have Unreal Engine running by chance?"
You better go catch it.
I got a question. Can you check something for me? It's like, oh man.
Dude, Lander, 5M got acquired? That's $20 million? What in the fuck is this?
What's 5M?
It's a GTA server. Yeah.
Wow.
What the fuck, man? Oh, whoever bought that for 20 million has too much money. Indie gonna be fine. Only worry I have for the indie market is mass market competition. Yeah. Well, of course. So this is the life cycle adder. The environment that we're in is that indies become AAAs. AAAs become the mega corporations that we have now that are absolutely terrible at what they're trying to do, but they have way too much time and energy and resources. So then they die, and then they get replaced by a former indie that becomes the next thing. And then it's that's the food chain there in the industry. So I do think it's not gonna go anywhere. We're just gonna be in that space for a long time. Oh, 5M was acquired by Rockstar. Okay, so they probably wanted to buy it, shut it down, and do their own thing. Okay. Oh, it's a suite of modding tools for the servers. I got it. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. Actually did get a monetary offer for theirs, but from a third party, not Rockstar. That's crazy. Take-Two loves spending money on nothing. Hey, is Take-Two CEO that guy? Fuck. The one who's like, I don't even play games.
It's
Yo, what's up, anime?
Some super European name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the guy. Okay.
Yep.
John Euroman.
It's like that's Hans or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, sorry. Jan Euroman.
Jan. It's definitely something like Jan for sure.
That's exactly why they bought it, because they legally couldn't do anything about it otherwise. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a good business model, man. You get so good at doing something that you compete with the original material, and they just buy you out, and you're like, dope. Made a bag, dude. What's hashtag shark cards, bro?
Shark cards were premium currency in GTA 5.
Why do you know this, Tony?
I don't know. I know everything about video games.
Randy Pitchford.
I mean, the shark card thing is like originally why like GTA became the most valuable entertainment IP ever made. Because they made like several $1 billion when they released the shark cards. Because early GTA Online was like kind of like when they put the real money auction house out in Diablo 3, and then like had to roll it back really quickly because of just how off the chain it got. But that was how GTA was, and you could just buy power and then go in GTA Online and harass people. And I'm sure people are using it for money laundering and shit. And,
yeah, that was my understanding of why Diablo, why Blizzard shut down the Diablo thing, was because people were laundering money through the auction house.
But I just remember they had to like retool the whole GTA Online premium currency setup quite a bit because of how it was being abused. And then the people who had like bought into it a lot and like were actually playing the game but had just like spent a lot of money on it were really upset because it all got taken away and kind of leveled out.
Adder, that's a wild admission. He has a poster of Randy Pitchford on his wall. You got to study the best to be the best.
And maybe it has darts in it or something,
Yeah, dude, dread coin. Get your dread coins, y'all. Yep. Nah, I'm kidding. I hate that shit.
We're going to auction off every static mesh in the project as an NFT. So you'll just know as you're walking through the game when you're in this level, you'll be like, this post right here, I fucking bought that thing.
I bought L Manor A.
Fractal Grove doesn't own this post right here. I fucking own
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that, Adder. I aspire to give that little of a fuck about anyone's opinion. Yeah, dude. Turning cog, you already have a little slice, bro. Your slice is the lamps, dude.
One minus this.
What did I miss? They want to stop these rappers from charging their fans $100 a month for priority and wanted a piece of it. Oh, is that? Are you talking about No Pixel or 5M? Lander said 5M was an acqui-hire. Yeah, that's cool. That's probably like.
I would imagine most of those situations are how that goes.
Yeah. You gotta start carrying around USB sticks though. That's your final form. Bro, don't do that and put weird shit on the USB sticks. Don't do that. Please, Adder. Unless the things you keep on the USB sticks are like engineering documents for, E30 BMWs and all that, that'd be cool. Then your scandal is that your USB stick with all this like car bullshit on it got found. Tony, do you want to talk about what you were building? We didn't even get to that.
No, I'm kind of trying to do what Adder was talking about. So I got a post-process volume here that has a radius that goes about to where the house is, and not quite doing what I want yet, but I'm trying to just make it so that it makes the hallway really dark as you're going into it, and then as you walk down, it lightens up.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we already did talk about that.
So I'm just working on level transition stuff, which is kind of what we're trying to get figured out right now.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's really important. It's good. Fucking wiring diagrams for the whip. Yeah, exactly, dude. I do actually have spreadsheets of wiring notes, so this is a possibility. Yep, I knew you did, dude. Okay, so here's some other news. I think you'll enjoy this one, Adder, because we've talked about this a little bit on the stream. The fired Subnautica 2 leads that Krafton CEO asked ChatGPT how to get out of paying their $250 million payout bonus for success with Subnautica. So they're currently in like litigation right now. And Charlie Cleveland and Ted Gill, with co-founder and tech director Max McGuire, were fired by Krafton. They're the Subnautica guys. Yeah, the Krafton CEO is the one who's being like, this. So this is probably public knowledge from court records and shit, is what the story's about. But they were fired by Krafton for an absence of core leadership and a profound sense of betrayal by their failure to honor the trust placed in them by fans. So these three are saying, no, this dude fired us because he didn't want to pay us $250 million because we, hit the contracts correctly, and they were going to have to pay us a fuckload of money, and they didn't want to do that. So they fired us, and they're trying to figure out a way to get out of paying that amount of money due to the success in the contract deal that we had. So that's what's happening there with that legal mess, apparently. Yeah, and then there's a message, I guess, that they found through like legal discovery, where he asked ChatGPT, how do I not pay these bonuses and not look weak? That's like verbatim what he fucking said, which is a wild thing to do. So yeah, it's really weird. I guess he was getting cucked by them because they're, Chads and they're good at what they do, and they made a cool game that people like. And so he's like, oh, I can't let these guys undermine my authority. I can't pay them $250 million. That's crazy. No. And so he's like trying to figure out how to do that and, keep the upper hand, maintain the power dynamic. Evidence reveal showed that the CEO was, yeah, exactly. That was a legal discovery. Did you see what Lander asked, Tony?
Tony, do you want to talk about how the rain in Arc Raiders looks exactly the same as the rain in Splinter Cell 1 2002? Do you want to talk about it? Because I feel like you might have a little more insight into that than I do based on what I know about what you've been working on.
Yo, Anime, thank you for gifting Lander a sub. Thanks, brother.
Rain in Arc Raiders looks exactly the same as the rain in Splinter Cell 1. So it's, from what we know about Arc Raiders is it's leaning more on proven long-term industry standard techniques as opposed to trying to utilize all of the fancy new technology and rendering stuff in Unreal and all of that. So that makes sense. That's probably as far as I could really go on to explain it, but I'm sure Adder has some insight into it as well.
Turning Cog said, yeah, this is great marketing for getting a publisher, sarcastically. I want that to be my life. So Turning Cog, if you remember, because you've been here for a while, I talked about why we even started the stream in the first place. And it's because I was really frustrated by conversations with partners And no one wants to spend money. They do this like leading you on thing because they never want to give you a hard no, because just in case you bring them something that they want to keep you on the, dangling on the end of the line. And I don't like that. It doesn't work well with my personality. And so that, all that being said, like, if there's a publisher out there watching this and you guys hear me say anything about it, we do need money. We would like a partnership, but at the same time, like, I don't want your bullshit, I don't want to fucking deal with that. I want to make good stuff, and I want people to buy the good stuff because it's good and they enjoy it. Like, that's the core fucking focus here. I don't want to get into a whole mess of, oh, you got to put in a battle pass and microtransactions and make a game as a service because it's profitable to our shareholders, and we're not going to give you money unless you do that, blah, blah. I fucking hate all of that. I really hate it. It's so frustrating. So we're trying a different way. It's taking a lot of time. But, Tony and I are in a place where that's a luxury we have, and we're going to keep going, and we're getting better, and we're making more things, and we'll get there. It's just time. So, yeah, that's our whole angle at this. Turning Cog has been playing Arc Raiders. Nice.
Turning Cog's playing Arc Raiders like every time I look at Discord. So it seems like I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, Brightside, the prompt in Chat GPT. How do I be a man? Krafton has always been a sketch publisher where they just sealed the deal. The way they handled Callisto Protocol was all we needed to know, though. Yeah, dude. I have no insight into this, but it's crazy the raindrops look exactly the same 20 years ago. Raindrops obviously are not something that need to be fancy, but it looks like the exact same sprite. Yeah, Lander, they probably already had a solution, and they were like, let's just use that again. Or found it somewhere, out of the box thing. It's cheaper. I mean, that's what we're doing in Dread. We're asset flipping. We didn't make any of this art, really. Like, Tony's made some things, but we're basically taking asset store stuff and modifying it or using it, directly and making a game out of that because we don't have artists on our team. So that's our whole angle. Which, by the way, Sushifu, if you want to make us some stuff, Turning Cog has made us some lamps. The best I can do right now is credit you guys fully, put links to your shit in the credits, whatever you want. I want to make sure that you guys feel happy with the level of accreditation and, whatever representation there is of anyone who's contributed to our project. So, but yeah, we're open to all that. It's a great game. Yeah, I mean, you guys, like, a bunch of you guys in chat like Arc Raiders. At the top of the stream, I was talking about how I prefer Tarkov. It's just me. I like the style of combat. I like the nuance in gameplay. I like the real guns. I like the gun modding. I like the inventory systems. Like, all the gameplay stuff is really solid. The UX is bad. It's a quirky game. It takes, 10 to 15 minutes to get into a fucking game sometimes, which is ridiculous, especially if you're playing offline or PvE mode. So it's definitely not without problems, but the game just hits so well. Arc Raiders makes me sad that I can't get access to a recent release of an NVIDIA branch of Unreal. Yeah, Sushifu, you need that industry clout. You need to know someone over there and be like, hey, you got any of that old branch access? And they're like, oh yeah, buddy, we've worked together before. Here you go.
Sushifu, have you seen the Unreal Vite branch thing that people have been talking about? I was talking about this with Adder the other day, but it's like forked off of UE 5.0.3, but then they added a bunch of some of the more recent Unreal stuff and changed a couple of things. It's definitely very like opinionated and a fork of the official thing, so I don't know how I feel about it, but it does have the RTX GI stuff in it.
Turning Cog, I also like how, working class, no bullshit software game dev community is on Twitch for sure. I mean, I'm speaking through the lens of, you guys in chat and like the people that we interact with, but like, I get the sense that, you guys are in most of the channels and you guys are like the core of this community. And yeah, I agree. I really like it. People are here to make games. They're not, some people are here to work on the next, industry defining MMO as a 2-person team, 10 days on, no days off, 24/7, whatever the fuck. Eat the glorp out of the cup type shit. Some people are here for that. I'm glad Anime's enjoying that.
I put the link to that Unreal fork if you guys want to see it in the chat. But
hell
it's on
yeah,
GitHub right here. So
go to Tony.
it's been getting a lot of attention. It gets updated all the time. They got a roadmap and all sorts of stuff to be interesting. But you know, you're obviously moving away from the core ecosystem. I don't know how easy it would be to do stuff like use Fab or any of the other stuff with this. I haven't tried it.
Adder was saying
not found on this GitHub link. I mean, it's right there. It is really hard to Google for some reason. Like if you just type in any of the stuff, it doesn't really show up, but it's forked from Unreal Engine, so you could always just go to the forks and look there too.
Adder was talking about the material for the rain. You can get distance to and pass that via dynamic material instance.
That was what I was asking him.
Oh, okay.
I got it. Yep.
Workflows for a lot of content because there's a better way. The execution could have been cleaner, and that's on them. I do love Tarkov's inventory system. Was talking on stream about how I wish Arc Raiders had that. Yeah, Sushifu, I'm glad you get that. I was talking about that earlier on stream, how the inventory system for Tarkov, the grid-based inventory with different sized objects and weight, is very important because it adds a lot of tension to the moments of looting. When it's just a single item that goes in a single slot, you don't have tension around looting. You like click on a thing and then just move everything to inventory and then just move on. And that you miss the whole like, oh shit, this is really valuable, heavy thing, doesn't quite fit in my bag. I got to drop some shit. There's a guy around the corner. Oh fuck, what do I do? And you have this like, it makes everything matter more. It makes your storage space matter. It makes your weight carrying capacity on your PMC matter. Like all these systems support each other really well. And I think that's what Tarkov does that other extraction shooters do not do. And Tony and I have talked about how, you know, competitors looking to take a piece of Tarkov simplify the things that actually matter a lot, that make the game really fun and compelling. And so like they miss that piece because they haven't played enough of it and they don't get it. So yeah. I was using RTXGI when it was brand new, and UE4 was something to wrap my head around for sure, but it beats the crap out of Lumen IMO. 404 not found. Oh yeah, you guys were talking about Googling that and all that. Software development is really just 30 people recycled back and forth between each other's chats. Yeah, and then probably you know, view bots to some degree. But yeah, I agree. I feel like I see the same 30 people everywhere. You know, that's it. It's a very small community, and I love it. It's great.
Everybody's really supportive and nice to each other. It's awesome.
Turning Cog, I think Adder is in there just like taking trophies in the Corpo Thunderdome. I like not having to play Tetris in my looter shooter. Nah, I like the Tetris. It really matters a lot. It's really cool how the inventory in Tarkov is practically a skill-based mechanic, Tetrising everything and all that. Yes, exactly, Sushifu. As a game designer, I fucking love that. I think it's so good.
And the fact that on top of that, you have like nested containers, and those can have nested containers, and like, oh, there's a lot of depth to it. I know some people really don't like it, but like it doesn't work without it. Like Vince said, it's like you can't make that kind of game without creating some really high inventory tension at all times.
Yep. And that
you need a bunch of bullshit in the game that, you know, you would never think you need in the game, like cigarettes and toothbrushes and spark plugs and stuff. It doesn't work if you're not filling up that limited inventory space with a bunch of trash that isn't guns and doesn't really benefit you in any material way instantly. It will never work.
Yeah, Turning Cog, no, that's a good point. New to extraction shooters, Arc Raiders is a good entry point. Okay, I'm gonna throw this out there. You should try Duckov. It's pretty good, man. Duckov is a great entry point too. It's pretty forgiving. It's challenging in its own way. It does hit some balance problems in like the mid game, but it's a good game. It really is. But if you're already playing Arc Raiders and you love that, you might as well keep going with it. And then you can graduate to Tarkov if you really want the full experience, the GOAT experience, gold standard of extraction shooter. What's up, Push Button? I'm coding a AAA game through the power of telling other people on Twitch my ideas. Yeah.
He's vibe coding with the community.
That's amazing. So anime, I was really opposed to Duckov for a while, and then I played it last week on like Thursday and Friday. So I really only played it a couple days, but I made some really good progress. It was very satisfying. I found that Duckov got me the same, like, very similar moments of tension that I would get playing Tarkov, because some of the mechanics work really well. When I was talking about like the stuff that gets a little loose in the mid game, there's their AI needs some work. It's too good. And what I mean is, like, it's too stupid in the fact that it knows exactly where the player is and will run at the player once aggroed forever. And you can't like break line of sight and shit and get them distracted. Like, your options are very limited. So some of the boss fights turn into kite them to a half of a wall, wait until you know they're right around the corner, dip out, spray them, dodge into another cover if you don't, kill the guy immediately. And that gets a little thin for gameplay, but that kind of becomes like the loop as you get farther into the game. So that part doesn't work so well. What makes Tarkov, I think, superior in that regard when it comes to combat is that any weapon you have can basically kill anything in one hit if you put it in the right spot, which is great. You can have the worst gun in the game and get a one-shot kill on someone that has way better gear, and you have a massive come up. The risk reward is nailed in Tarkov. It's so well done. And I think in Duckov, the risk reward is imbalanced. It's some parts of the game felt a little too easy, and then some parts of the game felt unfair. And I am struggling to find strategic options that aren't just, make the AI, like, exploit the AI's stupidity and make them, walk around the corner into your gunfire. And then because you're a human being and you can think better than the AI, you'll win. Like, that's not great. The duck part of Duckov is definitely weird. I agree with that. Yes, it is a lot of fun. Surround Dead has a decent bag and bag mechanic. Survival crafter, not an extraction shooter. It's hard for me to explain Turning Cog. Like, it's not just like, I don't really care for looting systems, but the reason why I like it in Tarkov is because everything you get has value, and the knowledge you gain and the expertise you gain by playing the game pays off immensely. Like, you truly get better at the game the more you play it and the more you learn. It becomes a lot more satisfying. Like, I was telling Landera earlier, he was saying last time he played was like 2018 and he wanted to play like co-op PvE. And I'm like, dude, that's in now. You can just do that. And I was saying that's actually my favorite way to play. I think it's a lot more fun. The chaos and randomness of PvP it can be a little too frustrating at times, and I have a pretty high tolerance for frustration in games. I mean, you guys watched me play Ninja Gaiden Black, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, the remake on Steam. You guys watched me play that on stream, and there was some very crazy shit that happened in that. It was, I raged a little bit, but I was putting it on, doing the show for you guys, because I know that chat likes angry streamer. I was thinking about it last night. My issue with Tarkov has always been perf. It's better now, anime. Yeah, it's better now. There's a lot more stuff you can tweak to get it performing well. It's not $100 for PvE Tarkov. I think it's 70.
Yeah, to be fair, Tarkov makes my computer sound less like a plane that's trying to take off than most other games these days, actually.
One of the weird choices they made with Tarkov performance is it's very CPU heavy. It doesn't really do anything with your RAM. It doesn't really do anything with your GPU. It's all CPU. So if you have a good
he's put all the upscaling tech in it, you can run DLSS now. Yeah. It works really good. Yeah.
Take it easy, LFQ. Thanks for coming through, brother. Thank you for the resub. You gave us some kind of a sub, but yeah, it's great, man. And you got first. I think you got first. Yeah. LFQ been here. Have a good sleep, bro. On Steam. Okay, so here's the thing, Turning Cog. Don't buy it on Steam because you have to get the Battle State launcher anyway. So a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't have to do the BSG launcher anymore. When you install it on Steam, it installs the BSG thing. And you have to go make a profile.
Yeah, it's
anyway.
like the EA app type.
Yeah,
thing.
just go get it on the BSG launcher. It's the better way to go. PvE loot and progress. No, they are separate progressions. The nice thing about PvE anime is that you can choose not to reset your account. So whenever they do those updates where all the PvP players get their accounts, reset and all that shit, and they got to start over, you don't have to do that. You can just keep it going. So that's cool. It's easier to pick up and put down than be like, well, I didn't play for 6 months and they fucking reset all my shit, so I'm starting over again. That's not a concern with PvE Tarkov. And also just co-op PvE is so fun. It really is. Especially
even when this massive overhaul came out, if you didn't reset your account, you could have just kept playing. You wouldn't see any of the new shit, but he built it such that you can do that.
Yep. I was watching some Roadrunner cartoons today and decided I'd love to play a game where you get to set stupid traps like Wile E. Coyote. Probably not a suitable IP for gameplay, but something that feels like that. Dude, you could easily make that without infringing on the IP. I think, would you want to make it like 2D push button? And I don't mean because it's a cartoon. I mean a lot of like the gags they do were flat, left to right or right to left. Yeah, exactly, Turning Cog. So just don't, if you do want to get Tarkov, which I do recommend, don't get it on Steam because it'll be launcher within launcher, human centipede shit. I imagine co-op PvE plays like Ready or Not, but with the looting of Tarkov. Yes and no.
Like the player feel kind of, but
it really plays like Tarkov. So the thing you'll notice, the biggest difference I noticed is you feel like a god almost immediately because the AI is not as good as a player. They're not going to do something fucking weird like sit in a bush or exfil camp. They don't do that. You will run into PMCs that are AI at exfils sometimes, which is interesting, but they're not camping the exfil. They're like literally trying to exfil themselves. I've seen them do it, which is very strange, but it feels like a much more like constrained, approachable version of the game. Honestly, it's just better in many ways. And you already have an anime, so if you want to check it out with us, you're more than welcome to come and play, man. I think the most people that we usually play with is like 3, and you can play with 5, which is very cool. Yeah, the levels are massive comparatively, and you don't have such a tight like scenario restriction as Ready or Not.
You can shoot anybody. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ready or Not audio, this is weird because I know Tarkov gets a lot of shit for their audio, but the audio is really good.
It's like the best in-class audio. They're the ones that
so fucking good.
They made the binaural audio thing a thing. Tarkov was like the first one.
I really think they build the AI PMCs off player data and PvP. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So to Simple Sin's point, the AI PMCs won't go to so they will go to quest objectives, so you get a similar experience. You'll run into PMCs at like shared quest objectives. They're not like doing the quest, but they'll kind of be in that area and then like move to another spot as a squad. I did a run last night solo where I was on customs and I was like cruising along doing my thing. I was just playing a scav, like grabbing some loot for the hideout just to like, tie off the runs for the day. And I heard some fucking insane gunfire, some really big guns, automatic gunfire, and it was moving across the map ahead of me. And I'm like, that's a crazy PMC squad. I don't want to go fuck with that because I'm on a scav and I'm trying to like, get 3 matches so that I can have a heating upgrade and like, light a fire in this 55-gallon oil drum in my hideout. But it was very interesting to hear it move across the map. I could tell where the squad was moving to and then kind of keep my distance and make sure that there were different walls and obstacles between us because they were so loud. And it was nearly constant automatic gunfire. It'd be like, bam, bam, boom, 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 boom. And then like grenades would go off and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on over there? and then it would kind of get quiet. And then like 30 seconds later, I would hear it popping off at another location farther down the map, but in the same general vector. And I was like, yeah, just avoid those motherfuckers. I'm going to stay on the other side of the map and get out. It was really cool. It felt a lot like PvP Tarkov, just without the extra bullshit that happens. Ready or Not has a very strange scale to the world and props. I agree with that, Turning Cog. I never thought about it until you pointed that out. I think the gunplay and pacing, I know Tarkov is a much more in-depth game. Yeah, gunplay and pacing is fantastic, dude. It's just so satisfying. Getting like one taps is like, it's just so good. My buddy was saying,
the fact that you can just be like, I have this slide for a handgun, and if it fits on a handgun that you have, like, you can put it on there. Every other game that has weapon customization is like a fraction of that, if there is one. Like even in Ready or Not, you're just cycling between like a pre-made loadout on each gun and like a couple of different options for optics and stuff. And in Tarkov, it's like if you can find an optic and you can find an adapter mount somehow to get it to attach to a gun you have, just like real life, like that'll work. So it's really cool.
Yo, what's up, Hyperons? Simple Sin says, I love how the scavs will take the PMC guns too. Yeah, so that's another thing, is the scavs will loot bodies. So if you get a kill and you're taking too long to loot, the scavs will come over and start fucking with you. And so you have to like loot quickly and like try to avoid them, because they will come through and they will start like fucking with you and causing problems. The levels are 20 acres, every square inch is detailed and intentional. Yep, I like that a lot too, Tony. I still think Hunt Showdown has the best implementation of audio for gameplay purposes in regards to extraction games. I mean, you're not necessarily wrong on that, Sushi.
They took the Tarkov idea and like, you know, did a super AAA game developer implementation of it on Hunt Showdown. I don't think even Tarkov would deny that Hunt's is probably a little better than theirs.
Yeah, totally. The thing that I don't like about Hunt is the 1800s aesthetic. I'm just like, man, I want like a cool gun that you could get in real life now that is interesting, and like that is covered. Like everything in Tarkov gun wise is like a real firearm. And yeah, to Tony's point, there's a very daunting and deep modification system, so you can like really just tweak everything to make it look and feel the way you want, and it's super good.
Which, if you've ever done anything with real life firearms, it's just like that. It's extremely daunting and overwhelming and difficult to figure out half the time.
But in this case, it's pixels and you're not wasting your real money and scratching the fucking upper receiver of your Benelli M4 as you try to, you know, modify the fucking recoil spring buffer tube. Yeah, I'm usually not one for that aesthetic, but I do enjoy how unique their combat systems are because of the very slow rate of fire. I prefer faster, more modern stuff, but I applaud them for being unique in that regard. So, Sushi, that's a really interesting point. That's one of the things that I don't like about Arc Raiders. I recognize why they did it. Pretty much every weapon has a slow rate of fire and a slow reload because they hit really hard. And it's like a design trade-off that they chose. But I felt like fighting arcs was really cool. I just wish that the PvP didn't get into the mix nearly as much, because again, third-person shooter, that really bothers me when I might get killed by a player, but they're like hiding in cover and they see me the entire time. It just bothers me. The art direction is great for Hunt. I like the aesthetics. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome to, Turning Cog. It's, for me, I don't like it. It's not what I'm into. But it's cool. It's well wrought. They made a good fucking vibe, and you know, they nailed their style. Yeah, I'm not a fan of third-person shooters 90% of the time. I think third-person shooters have a very specific place, and it's the player looking at what their player character is doing and how their player character looks. It's really good for letting players express themselves aesthetically and make their own guy look cool and interesting. And there's a social aspect where you can share that with someone else, or watching really cool looking action sequences in third person for sure. Yeah, exactly. It's not good for something where you're going to have a high stakes environment and a player could witness you doing a bunch of things and you never see them because they're fully obscured by cover. That bothers me deeply. It was a problem in Destiny PvP with third person camera peeking around corners using certain weapons that pushed you into third person. That shit fucking sucked. It like really bothered me, and I was not there for it. So when that became a part of like how everyone was playing, it started to just piss me off. Yeah, emote 3 peek and fucking sword peeking and all that was so dumb. It just it completely changed the way the competitive play worked, and it sucked. You're also talking to someone who's played CS since beta and was top 2% for a while. Love competitive games, but I want it to be fair, and third person makes it not that. Yes, exactly. Which, again, this is my personal preference. I don't think that's bad game design. It's a choice they made, and for me, it makes me not want to play it. That with simplified loot, simplified hideout, you do like the whole city thing with vendors and all that. The aesthetic of that, like, post-apocalyptic entropy where you're, like I said, cutting a football in half and strapping it to your head and being like, I got a new helmet. Like, I don't really fuck with any of that.
Arbitrarily running around a 3D space to talk to vendors.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really actually benefit the game in any way other than wasting your time.
Exactly. Yeah. I hate a lot of the costumes in Arc Raiders, but not about that 70s vibe. Yep. Yeah, exactly, Turning Cog. No, I think Tony was just saying that as an example. There is not a 3D space for vendors. It's like a picture, and you like click on the vendors and stuff.
Oh, is that how it is in Arc Raiders? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I remembered running around the town. Maybe not.
No, there's no running around the town.
Yeah. Okay.
And we were talking about so if we think about hideout progression, comparing Tarkov and Dukov, you made a really good point, Tony, about how in Tarkov, you don't control the placement of things, and you can't really you can customize your hideout, but it's like in the items you choose to put on the shelves and the lighting and the paint and stuff like that you choose. It's a little more streamlined than in Dukov, where you have like a base building mechanic and you have this really big room and you can place your stations wherever you want within the room. And Tony was saying that it was a missed opportunity and that they added that customization, but with like no deeper game design mechanics, which, immediately brought to mind to me, like if you could have some placement synergy bonuses, like your weapons vendor next to your crafting station means that you can like craft certain weapons faster or something like that, or with less materials. That would be really cool. And he's right on that. That is a missed opportunity. They should have done something like that to give more value to the base building aspect of the game, because it's really just like space optimization and, personal preference, right? So
yeah, I'd also say I didn't really interact with 90% of the stations more than like 3 times in the entire time I was playing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones that I would mostly visit were like armor, weapons, and the
I go to those guys mostly just to like sell stuff, but you could go to that main like shop thing too if you wanted to and sell stuff there, and never talk to those other guys after you'd like bought the main things they sold that you needed from them.
Yeah, they do have a little bit of the vendor matters, because you can sell shit for more, but it doesn't matter because you get so many resources in Dukov. That's again another one of the balances that they didn't do well. The cost of things and the prevalence of like loot rewards is not super well done. You can do one run on a map that you're very comfortable with that you can just clear really fast, and you get like 20-30K. And you can buy, 3 or 4 loadouts with that, that's not great. I don't like my player home is a menu. Yeah, you want to be able to move your stuff around, right? And like look at it and walk around in it. So that's where I think Tarkov did a really good job, is you can't really do base customization and like pick where your stations go, but your hideout evolves dramatically over the course of a playthrough. And you can do some customization how you show things off. You can put some posters up. You can choose the placement of the posters. You can put things on shelves to look at. You get like this huge gun rack that you can like display all your weapons on. You get some mannequins you can put armor on. And what's interesting about that is those serve double duty as storage containers. So you can hold more stuff. You can get more things. And you can display those things. And, there's stations that have value to your playthrough in the hideout itself. Like the gym thing to level up your strength is cool. I don't know, it's just well done, and they spent a lot of time doing it. Yeah, I feel you, Tony. Anime wants you to rant on stream about the light leak.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. I know, like, the trick is, I thought we weren't supposed to have these hanging under the walls, and then that would fix it. That didn't seem to do it. I know we have our experiment level that Adder helped us with, so let's see. But I have the same thing, like, in those towers I was showing you guys. I was trying really, really hard to make them, like, pretty dark on the inside, and if you look at the corners, it just, like, always kind of has a little bit of a glow to it. Save all of that.
Anime, we've got Adder, who has been instrumental in helping us figure these things out. But yeah, Anime was
and that one specifically is like, there's a lot of different reasoning for it. But yeah, if I go in here, you can kind of see like that wall corner is lit up, even though it's a very solid mesh. And as I get closer to it, it's like distance fog or something, but it's specifically kind of stuck in the corner. And I even tried to make this mesh like 5,000 units thick at one point, and it didn't change it. So probably a setting I'm missing.
Oh, Adder's in a meeting. I remember now.
Yeah, no, it's not the end of the world. I think what I've got going on here now actually is going to look pretty good if I can fix the corner thing. You make some art crimes, so it's like a Vince stream for a little bit. Yeah, let me go ahead and like I'll drop the entire game into this map and I'll just put it under the water so we can't see it. That would be good.
I really liked Boom's solution. Writing into Blueprint the ability to flip Z-axis on a checkbox and hide asset at the same time. That was the solution for like moving lights around. Checkbox and it sends them to hell or into the sky. Is amazing. I thought that was very fun.
I don't know how I feel about checkbox in properties.
Oh yeah,
controls different properties. That feels like that's not a good pattern to follow. But...
No, dude. That is definitely an art crime for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved how Boom was like, "Oh, that's totally legit. You could do it this way," and then just shows on stream like, "Here's how I do it," and then just flip Z by like a value of 1,000.
Yeah, I'm reminded as we're talking about this, I did redo the lighting of the entire game since the last time we talked because everybody was so offended by it. So now you guys can tell me what you think. I totally forgot about this. So this is kind of where we got it now. It looks a lot more visible on stream over there for sure.
Who was offended by the lighting?
Everybody just thought it was too dark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I worked with Adder a lot behind the scenes to try to get it dialed in. And it's not perfect, but I think it's getting there. Turn the volumetric fog on. I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah, fog is good.
Yeah. And then just a little bit of sky adjustment and a lot of like exposure and skylight intensity and stuff. But also got some different variables and stuff set up where if I'm not streaming, I can usually get like 70, 90 FPS. So
nice.
Yeah, definitely getting better. Definitely not as much like sparkly lumen shit going on. Like you can definitely still catch it like in the trees above the street lights, and it's almost always in the trees. If you like, look at these trees over here, they don't look very good. But otherwise, I think a lot of the sparkling I got to go away with some C-bar adjustments. And here's what Vince's spotlight work looks like with the fog. I think it looks pretty good.
Oh, it does look better with the fog. Yeah.
Yeah, the fog really adds a lot. And I was telling Adder, I was like, I don't know if I want to turn fog on. It's gonna like hurt perf. And he's like, you need to turn fog on and make the perf work because it's very important. He was right. So.
Nice, good shit.
Yeah, so definitely in the right direction. I miss our kind of like purple sky that we had before.
Yeah,
and
purple.
So I would like
good.
I'd like to get that back, but it was just like that is a not night sky, and so we're just like it. Especially with all of the adjustments I made, like starts to really kind of look like evening time, which is what it should look like. So if we want it to be nighttime, it's gonna have to be a little closer to this, but we can definitely revisit coloration and stuff like that.
Hell yeah, art crimes. Let's go. If an asset is culled and the player isn't there to see it, is it even there? Oh shit, push button. Did I miss your message about 2D? It would work well in 2D, I guess, a bit like Lemmings, but different objectives, more potential for Rube Goldberg machine style play. Oh yeah, so if it's like a mix of Lemmings and like the Incredible Machine, yeah, that seems like a good idea, dude. Yeah, did I already say Brightside likes it? This is really good, he says. He likes the lighting a lot.
Here we got some art crimes like this right here. There you go. There's probably a hole in this roof.
Hell yeah.
Code crimes more, but
Perfect.
Cog lights are looking good. I think we still get a little bit of LOD pop when I get close to them, but I also replaced a lot of them with another variant that he made. Oh, maybe I did get that dialed in now. Yeah, that's looking better.
Yeah, it's looking really good, dude.
Yeah, but those like goose ones, like that one that's kind of straight ahead that doesn't shoot light upwards as well, those are incredibly stable, and I think they look really, really good. So I kind of biased the generator towards using those more than the other ones.
The goose is loose.
Oh shit, we're missing some sidewalk.
Ooh, I didn't mention this. We got a first look at the cast of the Legend of Zelda live action.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think it looks pretty good. That looks like a Zelda and a Link to me.
Yep.
And
it's more like Ocarina of Time Link than Breath of the Wild Link, and I appreciate that. So
yeah, absolutely. Like actual Link. Jack Black, yeah, Jack Black plays Epona. Actually, Jack Black as Ganon would be kind of sick.
He just yells, "Master Sword, Hylian Shield."
The Hylian Shield. Yeah.
The Deku Tree.
I am the Triforce of Courage. No, he'd be the.
Oh no, dude, they would make him tingle, and he would have the fucking green jumpsuit on and like think that he was a fairy, but he's actually a human weirdo. That would be perfect for Jack Black. Actually,
that's a really good casting. Jack Black as Tingle.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Legend of Neil has the best Link.
Nintendo's done good at like all the Easter eggs that people would recognize being in there, so I would hope that they would have Tingle and stuff like that for sure.
So turning cog, like we're old enough. Legend of Neil had its time. I think it's kind of cringe now, but Sparkle Loser loves Legend of Neil. I'm pretty sure she has a signed copy of the DVD, which is,
I'm not seen 500 posts that's like, Link casting for the Zelda movie finally released, and it's just a screenshot of that.
People are thinking the movie takes place in the Breath of the Wild timeline based on the clothing. That's crazy. That doesn't even look like it to me.
Yeah, it definitely looks more OG to me, but the scenery looks like Breath of the Wild for sure. I thought kind of the big open expansive landscape that they were showing felt like Breath of the Wild to me.
I guess Zelda's outfit. Yeah, Zelda's outfit's kind of Breath of the Wild.
I showed it to Amy and she's like, "Do you think the Zelda actress has practiced her exasperated blood moon exclamations yet?" It's like every time it happens in Breath of the Wild, she's like, "Link, the blood moon is rising." And Amy's like, "Oh my god, she's so dramatic," because it happens so often.
Turning cog approves of the lighting.
Carriage lights, yeah, I agree for sure. They're also randomized, so I might just need to lower the upper bounds a bit.
Wait, push button. Who would Melissa McCarthy be cast as? Goron.
I was going like Kome and Komek from the Spirit Temple.
Or man, I'm fucked up for saying that. I'm sorry, guys. Brightside liked it.
No, that was great.
Everyone liked it. All right. I'm glad you guys approved and thought it was funny. I don't edit myself very well. I probably shouldn't have said that, but yeah, it was. Yeah. The question is, why does she have a bow? She does. I mean, don't forget, like Zelda was also chic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zelda knows how to fight, dude.
Yeah. Zelda's in like 4 Smash games.
Yeah, what were the fucking... What are the Triforces? Triforce of Wisdom,
Courage, and Power.
and
I think.
Power. Yeah. So Ganon is Power, and Courage is Link, and Wisdom is Zelda. There's 3 timelines though, bro. I don't even want to get into the timelines of the Legend of Zelda. Don't do that. That's crazy.
I think there's technically 1 forked timeline that eventually is 2 timelines. I don't know if it's 3, but
think of it as, you know how I always talk about like time is a flat circle. Think about it that way. It's always occurring at the same time. You know, like there's always a Triforce of Courage, and it's the hero of time. There's always a Triforce of Wisdom, and it's Zelda. There's always a Triforce of Power, and it's Ganon. And the 3 forces need to balance each other to stop the cycle of calamity. That's it. That occurs in every Zelda game.
That's like a yin and yang thing. It's like the good games is without the evil. Like they definitely just lean into all that.
Yeah, totally. There's no, like, if you think about Legend of Zelda as in the events of Link to the Past and the events of Breath of the Wild are different points in time. I think that's too reductive. They're all cats with poison in a box. Yeah, type shit.
And the split is Ocarina of Time, right? There's like one variant where Link stays an adult and goes forward after defeating Ganon, and then there's another variant where he puts the Master Sword back and goes back to being a kid, and none of it ever happened, or something like that.
Yeah. It doesn't silhouette the houses the way Vince was describing he liked it last stream. Don't worry about what I was doing, Turning Cog. I was mostly going for like a vibe and be like, yeah, this kind of looks
a lot of what we've done before now is just like testing and non-permanent. So
yeah, we're not at polish yet. We've got more stuff we have to build, and then when we can play it end to end and it's, you know, it makes sense, then we can see where all the rough patches are and what we need to polish and clean up and make
like this is our old sky from the neighborhood, you know, with my changes. So it looked, you know, this looks like a rainy day at best. So
yeah, or like a Pacific Northwest twilight, you know, at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I thought it was Skyward Sword was the split. I mean, dude, Simple Sins, I think you're thinking about it too much. It's not that reductive, and it's not that straightforward.
Skyward Sword is either like far past or far future of like the core of the timeline. I want to say it's like far past, but I can't remember. I feel like a bad Zelda nerd right now. I should know all this shit.
Bo Bragason-san. I wish I was cool enough to know who she is. I mean, I don't really care. I think the casting was good. Hey, yo, still live. Yeah, bro. Okay, so Adder's back. Tony. You had a question? Adder, we need you.
Did I have a question? I don't think I had a question.
Well, you were asking something about the light bleed in the...
Oh, the fucking light bleed.
Light bleed in the lake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I'm triggered again.
I'm sorry, but I figured he's here. He might be able to help you figure out what the fuck is going on with it. I only had NES. I've never beat a Zelda game. Dog, the first Zelda game was on NES. Turning Dog.
I've come around on this. I used to tell people, like, you should go play Ocarina of Time. It's an amazing classic that still holds up, but I don't think it actually still holds up for most people. I definitely think it still holds up for me, but yeah, there's... Link to the Past probably holds up a little better.
Yeah. Link to the Past is an absolute banger. Everything about it is so good.
If you're into the idea of like a, you know, somewhat linear N64 single player action fantasy story game, like Ocarina of Time is amazing. Don't get me wrong. I just like, if you never played it, I feel like most people have kind of a hard time appreciating it.
Lander, we were talking about the analog 3D, and how, because I want to say like last week there was an article saying that the analog 3D pre-orders are finally getting fulfilled or something like that. Anime Figurines does not like Legend of Zelda. He wrote it with 3 Z's. I'm surprised you didn't throw a Resident Sleeper in there, dude. Link to the Past was the first video game you bought yourself as a kid. Yeah, dude, that's such a good fucking game. It's crazy how good that is. Yeah, Lander, I have an N64, so I don't need to get an analog 3D. I think I actually have 2. I have one and Sparkle Loser has one. And I have a CRT with composite video hookups and stuff, so I can.
I know I'm a terrible person, but I'm definitely kind of just of the mind these days that like an emulator would be way less annoying to have to deal with.
Well, it's only bad in so much as emulation is still piracy.
Yeah, and I'm not making a statement beyond that. I'm just saying, like, these days, I don't want to have like another console and have to go like swap the cartridges out and like, I don't know, just that's a hard sell for me when there is an alternative that doesn't involve doing that.
Adder 4 Swords is really good. Really, really good. It was ahead of its time for sure. Analog 3D is going to be a disappointment until they either update the firmware or someone jailbreaks it. Oh no, dude. Oh no.
What's disappointing about it?
Yeah, tell it, Slander. Push button. I was more of a Sega kid when Commodore died off than early PlayStation, then Xbox 360. Nintendo never really featured in my life beyond playing Tetris on my dad's Game Boy while I dropped a load off. Nice, dude. Good way to fucking phrase that. So push button, I had all the things. Not really at any one time, but I've just like video games are always like my favorite shit and my biggest passion. Very, very hyper focused on video games and all things video game culture. I mean, that's why like I make video games. It's been a driving force in my life. So that's not to say I got all the consoles whenever I wanted them. No, but over time, I eventually got them all. I had a really clean, well cared for SNES with a Super Game Boy and all that shit. And then my dad just gave them to a neighbor kid at some point. And I was like, why would you do this? He was like, I didn't know you wanted those. And I'm like, you didn't even fucking ask, dude. You just got rid of that shit. I would have loved to have that. Just took the glass off? Yeah. From the early reviews, it seems like if you own a cart, you can dump it into the micro SD, but playing off micro SD still requires the cart to be inserted. Oh, that's weird, Lander. Adder has a handheld that feels like a GBC, but can play up to N64 and GameCube. Okay. Third-party carts that support loading off SD, like the EverDrive, don't work correctly with the analog 3D. It almost seems intentional. Whack, dude. Pocket was jailbroken like a month after the release. Knockoff Pocket. I literally have every Game Boy generation. I have the first one. It doesn't really work anymore. I've got a Play It Loud, I think was the one. I have like a clear original Game Boy. Like the plastic was clear. I have a GBA. I have a silver Pocket. I have a Pocket SP. I don't know. Game Boy was like my biggest collection for a long time. That was mostly the console I played stuff on. Early as a kid. I did have a Sega. So yeah, I had the SNES with the Super Game Boy, which was very rare, and I was really happy to have that. But my Sega collection was even crazier that my dad gave away. I had like the 32X and a Sega CD and I don't know, like 40 games. Like I had Sewer Shark and shit, stuff that would be very valuable nowadays. But yeah, it's all gone. He gave it all away. Big sad. RG35V Plus. Is $100 cheap or expensive? Keystone Capers on the 2600. See, pushed. I never
$22 emulator thing. That's crazy.
Pushed. I never got into like that era. I was a like 90s era gamer, late 80s, early 90s. So I didn't really get into like the Commodore or the Atari or Coleco or any of that stuff. I didn't have a TurboGrafx. I didn't have a Game Gear. I was a Game Boy player. But I had a Sega console for my TV. I loved Sonic when I was a kid, for sure. I played Sonic 1, 2, 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Really good games. Mean Bean Machine's just a Puyo Pop port, but yeah, it was good. Or I guess clone, not a port. It was only $22. That is crazy. Wall thickness doesn't matter if the light leaking is leaking past the outer out-facing geo or normal. It's DF-based sky occlusion.
Is there any trick to just like blocking it off so it doesn't happen? When I was making that tower, at one point I went into the packed level actors and made the walls like 5,000 thick, and yeah, 0 change. You can geo around the geo, maybe. Okay. And that tube thing we made before, I wonder if I could use that.
He said wall thickness doesn't usually do it for him.
So is it just like you need more light blockers or something?
Are you too close to the water plane, Tony? What if you move the whole tunnel up?
Am I touching the water? I'm not touching the water plane because I know that was one of the things that was causing issues before. Make sure the walls overlap a good amount to help. Yeah, I mean, even if I take these and like, I'll just do like this section of 3. Like we can move them up so they're like way inside here, and it looks absolutely no different.
Yeah, I meant like, can you raise the entire structure or like lower the water is probably easier. Like just move it, you know, do what I did with the lights. Just like push that shit way down or push the shit way up. And
if I turn the water off entirely, it doesn't change anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Lowering water, so yeah, it's, I don't know what it is. It's like, because we had this one, let me see if I can find that one that we talked about this many weeks ago and you were helping me with it. Light swap test. We had made this one, and you know, there's a lot of differences in the setup here, but the idea, I believe, was that I should be able to start out here. Game mode isn't set up right, so hold on.
Are you being sarcastic, Lander, or are you like, oh shit, this is actually interesting? Yeah, lighting is fucked, man.
This is a lumen thing that is stupid, but yeah, it's so the idea is like I'm in this lighting, and if I go in here now, I should be able to hit a trigger in a second, and then that's supposedly loaded. Where am I? Break out of here. Oh, I might have crashed on Unreal.
Rip.
Yeah, well, in theory, there should have been a nice lit scene out there. Let's try again. But I remember us working on this on stream and getting it to the point where,
Yeah, Lander. So the way that shit will work is light will bounce off the water plane up into Geo and have like rendering effects on the back face that like leak through. It's fucking weird because it's not like real light, because that's more expensive to do.
It's calculated with voxels, and sometimes the voxels end up leaking into areas where you wouldn't think light should be, and it doesn't really know that because of how it's being calculated. So okay, so let's not destroy this actor. I want to see if we can keep the light blocked here.
Yeah, exactly. Adder's literally an expert at this, Lander. That's why like it's so nice to have Adder in here chatting with us about it. It's his whole thing. That's what he does.
You see, I thought we had this working better, but we're still getting a good amount in this test as well. Because if I remember correctly, we had set this up where this is not touching the ground and the thing below it is not touching the ground. And that was like primarily the thing that was important for ensuring that we got zero light leak. But you can tell this whole thing overlaps like the entire side wall too. So
Adder, that's what I was gonna say too, but I don't want to just like say things, you know what I mean? Like to not, because I don't know that I'm right, and it would be not necessarily useful contribution. Adder was saying it like fog leak.
Fog maybe, but
I agree. It looks like fog to me because
So in this level right now, do we have, okay, we got the lake turned on. If we turn the lake off, yeah, and I mean, that's obviously the fog's coming from here. This has a UDS in it. And I mean, the whole idea of what we were trying to do here, and you can see, Adder, I did the post-process thing you were talking about here where Yeah, it's turned on right now, and you can't really tell aside from all of the sparkly walls. But as I move down here, I mean, it has to be running in the blueprint, but the idea is that that opacity lightens up over time as we go, and it does work, but you see the light pop immediately when the level loads in, and this hallway just kind of like looks weird because you can see that like lit area right there that just kind of moves with me as I go, and then these corners are lit and they shouldn't be all the way like right up to where I'm at here. So if we can fix this, like we did it. I don't know. I'll have to mess around with it. Probably need to get the stream wrapped up here, but
Yeah.
UDS has the light leak setting. I gotta look at that real quick though. Let's see. I'm not familiar with that one.
It can be overridden by a per post-processing volume.
Be overridden per post-proc volume, but it defaults to 0. Okay, I got skylight leaking 0 under Lumen GI. Presumably that's probably it.
Yes, Lander, there's a bunch of ways to trace and light debug. However, it's a many-faceted problem.
So if we do skylight leaking 1, oh, worse. Okay. What does that mean? 0? Change anything? Can we do like negative 500 or something? No.
Also, make sure that the priority is higher than world post-processing volume.
Usually set prio to 9001 just in case. All right, I didn't do anything. This is the only volume in this level, but I'll just set it to really high.
Over 9,000 adder? That's crazy.
But what do I do with this skylight leak thing? Because when it's at 0, it already is. I mean, and if I make it 1, it's worse, of course. I bet the leak isn't the issue, or the walls and ceiling would not be black.
Yep.
Yeah. And if we turn off fog just to test, oh, that didn't actually change much. So
that's disappointing.
I actually made it brighter when I turned the fog off. So
yeah, that sucks. Skylight occlusion leak is what Adder's thinking.
Skylight occlusion leak. Okay, well, I at least know what to look into, and I'm sure I can figure out something for this, whether I just have to do something disgusting and put a big wall around this or something, but yeah. Okay, yeah, and these are just like modular boxes that I just kind of stacked up because we're trying to gray box some shit in. I just am trying to overachieve here and get this effect working. But if you had another block here, it'd fix it. Yeah,
like over the top, right?
Probably like wrap the entire thing in some sort of tube, right? I boxed most of my interiors to fix small leaks with Lumen. I was trying to see if I could find that tube that we were walking through. It might be this one. Yeah, so you can take this, flip it, move it down a little bit, take that. Just a quick little experiment here.
Air gap, please.
Let's just see what happens.
Adder says first ever.
That looks pretty good.
Nice, dude. You just had to box it.
That looks pretty good. Yep. There we go.
Adder undefeated. He said his first ever gig as a lighting artist was the junior building light blocker boxes. Damn, bro. That's a rough gig, dude. How long did you do that? I swear to God, I did this exact fix for Silent Sonata. Nice. It sucked a year or so. Dude, yeah, that's tough.
The problem that sucks about this is, like, literally you will do this sometimes and it won't work. And so, like, every time I run into this issue in my brain, I just don't know what to do. Because I'm like, I can try all of the things I know and most of them probably won't work. And there's always one thing that does. And just, yeah.
That's why there's a lighting artist specialty. And that's why it exists. because you need someone dedicated to just go for this problem and try to fix it.
Also, if you guys aren't using this level and sub-level system, I just kind of started using it yesterday, to be honest, but it has really changed some of my thought process and workflow, and I think it's really cool. So recommend checking it out, and you can always hit me up on Discord if you want me to explain more.
Yeah, and Brightside, it's never like one thing. Like Adder knows, it's never one thing. You have to try like 15 different things, and one of them will be it.
If you open this levels option here under window, you get this thing right here. And the top one is your persistent level. So that's like your level that you're in. But then what you can do is you can create sub levels within this, and they kind of act like level instances, but it's just a little different. But if you know like Photoshop layers, that's definitely the way that I'm kind of starting to think about this, is like I have my level here, which is mostly just this house. That's the level that we're in, is the forest house. And it kind of just looks like this normally here, where I can turn these layers off, and now that's just the house. But then I have trigger volumes in here, like this one and like that one. And when this one gets stepped on, what it does is it reveals this hallway here that you couldn't see from the outside of the house until you got up on the porch there. And then it takes away some parts of the house in here that were overlapping with this hallway that you would have seen. And so that happens right as you're walking in. And then when you get over here, it loads the lake level, which is like causes the lighting change and stuff like that. But I'm able to kind of like work in this level like this in between all of these different pieces and turn them on and off and see how they look. And I can also move items between them very easily by I can click on a mesh here. That mesh is in this level right here, but I could, right click on this level and say move selected actor to level. Over time, it's just like I'm starting to think about how to load things in and unload them and stuff in very different ways. And this allows you to kind of, if I click on any of these levels and I click on this button, this is the stupidest UI pattern I've ever seen in Unreal Engine, because I've never seen one like it, but it opens up a very useful and helpful window that you really need here, which allows you to change, properties about these levels, but you can also change like their loading behaviors. So whether they're initially loaded when the level loads or not, if it's unchecked, then it's just going to be waiting for you to load it. And you can have it be loaded but not visible if you need it to be loaded, so you don't have a hitch or something. And you just have a lot of control over stuff like that. There's also some blocking behavior, I believe, that you can do where like the entire game process will stop until this thing is loaded, and that's going to cause a big hitch, but you might need that in some cases. So this has just been a really cool thing to like start to make things a little more modular and have them behave the way that I would like them to.
Tony Brightside was asking if that was new in 5.6 because he couldn't seem to find out where to like turn it on.
You go to window levels, and I believe this is actually like a UE4 thing.
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
And so like Adder said, I miss sub levels. They get disabled with world partition enabled. So world partition and level streaming stuff is the direct replacement for this system. So you can't totally do this. There's a fairly similar workflow in world partition, but it just works a little bit differently. This, after some research, kind of seemed like the solution to some of the ways that we're doing things that were maybe not correct the first time around. So can't see. Well, I feel like it should be there. It's just like this levels tool thing or window thing, and that's a very default Unreal thing. But if you do have world partition turned on, that might be why, even if you're not using it in your actual game levels.
Illuminous, we will not have any of your bananigans out here, bro.
I don't think he actually ever told me the story either. I asked him about it yesterday.
I think it was Monkey Ball related. It wasn't even Donkey Kong, but yeah. No. It just he asked me last night. He was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" And I was like, "It's weird. Don't worry about it." I was like, "It's probably something that's only funny to the two of us."
All right, guys. Well, I think we'll probably call it there, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, hell yeah. Do we have a raid? Can we?
Yeah, who's on? Stevie was on earlier. She's still on.
Yeah, we should hit up Stevie. Yeah, of course. And if you guys are still hanging out on Twitch, we'll send you on over to one of the homies out in the community.
Stevie bounced. Warka. one again, maybe, or I don't know.
What do you guys think?
Oh, I think Pestily finally got offline. I was gonna say we could just raid Pestily, get everybody their Tarkov drops.
Yeah, we'll just end it. Everyone's bouncing anyway. So yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for the hype train and the subs and the resubs. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, and we'll do more. We're doing more dread. So catch y'all later.
Peace out, guys.